Fame inductees, Brent Godarzi and Marty Young. Back-to-back #1 trucking firm in the nation. Back-to-back best attorney and best law firm in East Texas.
It's fully loaded, great gas mileage, 30,000-mile warranty.
I like it. What else do you have?
Here's one. It's fully loaded, great gas mileage, 30,000-mile warranty.
Looks like the same car.
Exactly the same. But this one's $120 less per month.
What's the catch?
No catch if you use Credit Union of Texas. Let me show you.
With the Credit Union of Texas Flex Auto Loan, you get the car of your dreams. Lower payments, no hassle. Get started now at cutx.org.
Crowley Funeral Home has been serving families in Gilmer since 1883. Funeral director and Gilmer High School graduate Troy Murray leads the professional staff at Crowley Funeral Home and is committed to providing dignified, respectful, and compassionate assistance to every family in their time of need. Crowley Funeral Home feels strongly about maintaining high standards of excellent service while still keeping prices affordable. At Crowley Funeral Home, we treat your family as our own.
Gilmer National Bank is your hometown community bank, serving people in East Texas for over a century. We are your neighbors, friends, and partners in making this a great place to live. Our employees make us a special place to do business. We are there for you when you need us. Come by and see us and find out what makes people say, "That's my bank." Gilmer National Bank, an equal opportunity lender and member FDIC.
At Farmers Insurance, we've seen almost everything, so we know how to cover almost anything, even a rock and wreck. Yeah! He rocked and rolled right into it, but we covered it. At Farmers, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers.
We were going to do that last week, but then the bands didn't play, you know.
I figured that's what happened.
Yeah. Well, they kind of played, but they didn't march.
When tragedy strikes, you don't want to be in a position where you're second guessing your lawyer's ability or the resolve to get you fairly compensated. When you hire Godarzi & Young, you know you're hiring a law firm that has nationally ranked settlements and verdicts. We have over 2 decades of experience holding 18-wheeler companies accountable for their negligent action. Don't make the mistake of hiring anybody else. Hire the best. Hire Godarzi & Young.
So,
do you enjoy watching your favorite TV programs on your smartphone or tablet? Or maybe you'd rather watch them on your Roku or Amazon Fire TV. Tired of having to change your TV input from your old traditional cable to watch your favorite streaming apps? If so, we have great news for you. eTex is making the move to streaming and has launched a new app. eTex TV allows you to watch over 130 channels in full HD on your streaming or mobile devices. This means you can simply download the eTex TV app, subscribe, and start watching. With all your favorite functions like DVR and Pause Live TV, and new features like Restart TV. To learn more, visit www.etex.net or contact a customer service rep at 903-797-HELP. That's 903-797-4357.
well, yeah, and the linemen and, you know.
Probably the best way to.
Texas Heritage National Bank would like to invite the Buckeye Nation to visit our new full-service bank in Gilmer. We are conveniently located on Highway 271 and Redbud Street with a brand new facility ready to serve our friends and neighbors. We offer competitive rates on all of our deposit products, as well as some great options for business financing to help your business grow from 5 employees to 500 employees. Texas Heritage National Bank would also like to take this time to thank all of the teachers, administration, and school board for investing in the future of our kiddos. We would also like to wish all of the student athletes a wonderful and safe year. Come see us soon.
It's gonna be alright. How can you tell? I feel it in my heart. It's gonna be
Casey's Burgers, serving you for over 40 years.
At First National Bank, together we're better. We're a regional bank, big enough for all of East Texas, that cares and is invested in the people and communities we serve, with the strength and services to meet the needs of every customer, big or small. From business financing for big companies and small mom and pops to our family of personal banking customers. First National Bank of East Texas. Together, we're better. And we think that's kind of a big deal.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And
Please join Jeff
to
Rash.
Gilmer Buckeye football. Tonight's game will be played here in Memorial Stadium in Mesquite, Texas. The Gilmer Buckeyes will take on the Gainesville Leopards. This is the first meeting of Gilmer and Gainesville in all of our 100-plus year history of playing football. And so that's kind of a cool thing tonight that we've never played. This is finally an opponent that we haven't played in some time. And so it's a little bit chilly, and the wind is coming out of, looks like the north, and you can feel a good north wind. So, but it is a great night for football here, and we're just a few minutes from kickoff. So I'm joined tonight by my good friend and school classmate, Joe Dodd. Todd Robinson is out on assignment tonight. So Joe's going to be giving us some stats and some insight to tonight's game, as he is our stat man. So Joe, what do you see lined up for tonight?
Well, you mentioned it, the fact that we're playing a team that we've never played before. You know, Gilmer's been playing football since 1914, and Gainesville's been playing football since 1903. And considering that, you know, we're always been fairly similar in size and only about 150 miles apart and playing that long, it is actually kind of a surprise that we've never played each other, but we have not. And so it continues to trend in the playoffs so far. Last week we played Rusk, and that was a team that we hadn't played in about 30 years. But this is a team that we've never played. So I'm like you, I always find it kind of a little extra special to play teams that we've never played before. I like that. And, you know, Gainesville, obviously, the name of the town starts with a G, and they've embraced the G like Gilmer, and their helmets have the same, you know, kind of font style of the G. Their colors are red and black instead of orange and black. But that's not the only thing that, you know, they've got in common. They run very similar offense and defense that as Gilmer, you know, does. They have a first-year head coach by the name of Neil Searcy. He's not a first-year head coach, but he's a first-year head coach there. And he came from a head coach down in Killeen, but he's a 1990 graduate of Gainesville. And so they've got, you know, what they hope to be their Jeff Traylor, you know, basically, back at Gainesville. And but they've won. And playoff win against Sunnyvale was their first playoff victory in 9 years. So they moved down from classifications at the last UIL realignment from 4A Division I down to 4A Division II. And while they were in 4A Division I, they did not win a playoff game. They made the playoffs a few times, but did not win a playoff game. A couple other interesting, you know, facts is that while the Buckeyes come out on the field, is that their only state championship came in Class 3A Division I in 2003, and the very next year, as we know, the Gilmer Buckeyes won the 3A Division I state championship the next year. So we won back-to-back state championships. In fact, you know, Gilmer's been in the state championships 8 times and won 3. Gainesville's been in the state championship 5 times, and they've only won that 1. But between us, you know, the 2 programs have been 13 times the state championship. So they're just behind Gilmer in a lot of the, you know, columns that we are so proud of, from total wins and district championships and playoff appearances and things like that. But Gainesville's not very far behind the Buckeyes. So they're a very storied program that is looking to kind of get back to their glory years of, you know, a while ago, and they think they found it a coach to lead them. Just so happens that the coach's son, number 6, a junior, he is their all-star player. That's Cade Searcy. He's a starting quarterback and a starting safety. He returns kicks and returns punts.
Yeah, he's an athlete.
He never leaves the field. He's not a very big kid. He's listed at 5'9", 180 pounds. He's every bit of 180 pounds. He's a real thick, solid kid, but he scrambles and runs the ball really well. And not only I guess they feel like he doesn't do enough or run enough while he's out there starting both ways and returning kicks and punts, because Gainesville employs that offense to where the coaches stay on the sidelines and the quarterback runs to the sidelines to get the play and then comes back every play.
Yeah, he needs to get his exercise.
So, I'm sure he's in much better shape than anybody else in the stadium, I would imagine.
Yeah, he probably is. He's also the water boy.
Yeah, exactly, right.
Yeah, he handles water boy duties.
Yeah.
So.
He's all district of that, is what I was told. So, but that gives you just a little bit of the similarities between the two teams, and of course we hope that it kind of ends there, as we hope that the Buckeyes can dominate this game and come away with the win. It's a familiar confines to the Buckeyes. We've been to Mesquite Memorial Stadium. This is our 13th playoff game here. The Buckeyes have an 8-4 record, and in second round playoff games, Gilmer's 3-0. So hopefully the trend will continue. Tonight, I was at the very first game that was here that the Buckeyes played. It was during the state championship finish. We didn't win that year, but 81. I was 10 years old and watched us play Wiley and Kermit here. 2 weeks, 2 different games in 1981. So do you remember? Were you here?
I wasn't here at this game, but they have done the coin toss at midfield. The Buckeyes won the toss and elected to defer, and so they're going to be kicking off to the Leopards. And you're going way back, Joe. You're going way back.
I think I kept a little stat book in the stands with me. That
you probably did.
10 years old,
you probably did. I told you earlier. I was talking about you earlier today and talking about the incredible stats and the thick book that you give us every week. And there's probably not many NFL teams that have better data than we do on their players. And so it's kind of a cool thing. So they're getting ready to go, Joe, down and post the colors. It looks like that the Gilmer Junior ROTC are going to be having tonight's honors of posting the colors. And so we're going to kind of go downstairs in honor of our country and pause for a moment and observe our national anthem. All right, it is my favorite time. It is Friday night and time for some football. So I hope everybody's as excited as I am about this first meeting of the Gilmer Buckeyes and the Gainesville Leopards. The Gainesville Leopards located, of course, north of the Dallas area, and the Buckeyes located obviously an hour and a half or 2 east of the area. Both teams have traveled here to Mesquite Memorial, and we are anticipating a very good ball game tonight. So Gainesville's a little closer, 79 miles. Gilmer had to travel 117 miles, and hopefully that 117-mile trip won't seem so bad tonight, traveling home with a victory. So it's going to be interesting tonight, like it should be a shootout, as Joe talked about in pregame a little while ago. This quarterback that they have that plays free safety and quarterback and punt returner and whatever else is he is a dynamic football player. So they're going to have to contain him tonight. They're going to have to watch him because he's slippery, and he is their all-star. If they can contain him tonight, the Buckeyes should be able to get out of here with a victory. And so very exciting. Buckeyes decided to kick first. They're going to kick with the wind and put the wind at the face of the Leopards first, and they will be getting the kickoff at the beginning of the second half. So we are just moments away from the kickoff, and here it is. It is a long kick, going to be fielded on about the 6-yard line, returned up the middle, and Buckeyes all over it, and a big hit by number 13 for the Buckeyes. And that is one of our new upcoming stars, Jeremiah Noble, lays a lick on him. And that is going to be 1st and 10 from their own 24-yard line.
Yeah, Jeremiah's a sophomore, and he's getting more and more playing time every week, it seems like. And if you make hits like that, I can see why, and you can expect him to get a little bit more.
Well, and the good thing is we got 2 more years of this guy. I can't wait to see what he becomes over the next couple of years. So here's the first play of down as Gilmer takes on Gainesville for the first time in history. And let's see what we can anticipate for the rest of the night. They're going to go trip receivers wide right, 1 to the left, 1 back in the backfield, quarterback's in the shotgun. Fakes the pitch, comes across the middle, got a man open, big gain all the way out to the 42-yard line, and a big first down from the first play. And we have a Buckeye down on that play. We have an official timeout.
Well, the Buckeyes actually covered the receiver well on that. It was just that the quarterback actually made a very good throw and completed the pass. And that's where the Buckeyes defensive line has got to come in. They've got to be able to put some pressure on him to prevent him from being able to have that time to throw that pass. Because, if you have that amount of time and you're, accurate at all, just 1 step is all you need. And that's all he really had on the Gilmer defensive back because they covered him, okay.
Our defensive line, Seth Jordan, got stung a little bit on that play. He was able to walk off the field on his own, and he's down here. I'm sure he'll be a quick recovery. That is one tough kid.
Now, was that 66?
Yeah, 66.
Okay. Seth's got a new number tonight.
Seth's got a new number. Trip receivers left side this time. It's the same set as we saw earlier. Here's the snap. Quarterback keeper up the middle and got a big hole and about a 9-yard gain. And so far, Gainesville moving the football effectively against this Black Flag defense.
Well, that's what they do. Cade Searcy, the junior quarterback, he's got 127 carries coming in this game for 1,070 yards and 7 touchdowns. So he's their leading rusher. And you can see right there, they do that little, run pass option a lot. Of course, that one wasn't really the run pass, although he could have. I've seen him actually do that where it looks like he's going to, pitch it, but then he'll pull up and he'll throw it. So they've got a difficult assignment tonight to cover these guys.
2 receivers left, 2 right, man in motion. Dropping back, looking to pass. Launches one downfield, and it is incredibly caught. And the receiver refuses to go down all the way down to the 11-yard line. Number 18 on the reception there for the Leopards. And that was just a great catch. Jesse Luna, the receiver, and Gainesville on the first 3 plays have marched all the way down the field to the 11-yard line.
Well, I tell you, he must have practiced his throwing this week because he's only been about 50% accuracy on the year, and I didn't really consider him to be that big of a threat throwing. But so far, the first 2 passes, he looks like Joe Montana right now.
It really wasn't that great a pass. It was kind of wobbly. Our defender never turned back for it. Could have picked it off. Here's the pass. He's going to run, and he gets a little bit of yardage on the carry, almost to the 5-yard line. He's going to be down to the 6, which is a 5-yard gain. And, of course, if you're down in that part of the country, every yard counts.
Well, he paid a price for it. He got a pretty hard hit. But, like I said, he's a pretty tough kid. As you can see, he's running over there to get the play and now running back to the huddle. I still don't understand that, why they do that these days. But, hey, whatever makes them tired, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. 1 wide out, wide to the right, 3 to the left, 1 back in the backfield. They've run this same set pretty much every play. Here's the snap. Quarterback keeper's got a gap, and he gets in the end zone for the touchdown. And
Well-
we're going to have to figure out the blocking scheme there. That's twice that same play had a gap about 4 yards wide.
Well, it's like Jeff Traylor used to say. He said they got coaches too.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I'm sure they have tweaked some things going into this game. So Gilmer's had the film to watch, and they found a few things to, baffle our defense. And I'm sure our defensive coaches now are scrambling to say, okay, this is what they're doing. This is what we need to do to change it.
Well, I've always said I don't think anybody makes adjustments as they kick the extra point. It is good. I don't think anybody makes adjustments better than Gilmer Buckeye coaches. I'm a little prejudiced, but I believe that. So Gainesville, with 9:20 left in the first quarter, strikes first, 7-0 over the Buckeyes. We'll be right back after these messages.
Two-time Hall of Fame inductees, Brent Godarzy and Marty Young. Back-to-back #1 trucking firm in the nation. Back-to-back best attorney and best law firm in East Texas.
It's fully loaded, great gas mileage, 30,000-mile warranty.
I like it. What else do you have?
Here's one. It's fully loaded, great gas mileage, 30,000-mile warranty.
Looks like the same car.
Exactly the same. But this one's $120 less per month.
What's the catch?
No catch if you use Credit Union of Texas. Let me show you.
With the Credit Union of Texas Flex Auto Loan, you get the car of your dreams. Lower payments, no hassle. Get started now at cutx.org.
And we are back to Memorial Stadium here in Mesquite, Texas, where the Leopards have put 7 points on the board in the opening first few minutes of the first quarter. 9:20 left to play in the first quarter. And here is the kickoff. They are going to do an onside kick from the start. And the ball is loose, knocked out of bounds. And that was lucky.
Well, very lucky.
We fumbled it around a little bit.
Well, and I couldn't see who that was for the Buckeyes. I don't want to really call his name out, I guess, because I'm going to tell you that he did something that he's not coached to do. He's coached to catch that and go down. And he thought he could catch it and run with it, and that did not work. And he got very fortunate that ball bounced out of bounds.
It bounced out, and then luckily when they were going for it, it bounced out and out of bounds. So here's the opening offensive drive for the Gilmer Buckeyes. A little different set down here. One receiver left, two right, two backs in the backfield. Number 17, Rowan Fluellen, the quarterback. Handoff, left side, 22, Will Henderson. And Will's good for 11, 12 yards and a first down for the Buckeyes.
Well, the Buckeyes have been run heavy this year. About 70% of their plays are runs, and they average, about 40, 50, about 70 more yards technically rushing than do passing. And I think you're going to see even more of that tonight than you have in the rest of the games.
Well, when you've got two All-State running backs, you can do that. Here's the snap, handoff up the middle, and they are on that one immediately. Maybe a yard gain there as they hand it off to Haynes. And I'll tell you, that first set, it was a thing of beauty because all year long I've been begging to put Will Henderson and Haynes in the backfield together and run like a split backfield. Because what a threat that is. You talk about confusion.
I think they're the best two backs in Texas in 4A, to be honest with you.
Well, they are, and that's why, like I said, a good scheme, I think, is having them in the backfield together. Handoff up the middle, Haynes, and he is maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Small gain. Is that defensive line of Gainesville doing a really good job?
Well, Henderson comes in tonight with 849 yards rushing, so he's 151 yards away from 1,000 on the season. And Haynes comes in with 791, so he's 209 yards away from 1,000 yards. So we'll probably have two 1,000-yard backs for the Buckeyes this season.
All right, Haynes on the right side. Rowan Fluellen looked like offsides to me. Rowan throwing downfield, just overthrown. It was a good pass, just a little long. It was intended for Cade Bowman, and that is going to bring up fourth down. Now, in the field position where the Buckeyes are now, I think they're definitely going to go for it here.
They do have the wind to their back, but they're not going to gain much if they punt, and it's too far for a field goal here, so it's definitely fourth down territory. And even if they turn the ball over here, it's not bad field position for our defense.
All right, Buckeyes are going to send two receivers wide to the right, two to the left, one back in the backfield. Again, Rowan Fluellen in at quarterback in the shotgun. Here's the snap, looking to pass. Short pass, number 4, Bowman breaks free, gets the first down.
That was a well-designed play there. I've noticed on some of the games I watched this week of Gainesville, they had a difficult time with the wide receiver screen. And so I was wondering, how we would do with that tonight. And, of course, we picked up a first down, a very much needed first down on that fourth down plays. That's a big play. You don't want to come in and give up a touchdown on the opening drive and then, give it up real soon on offense. So to get that and get in, even to keep the ball a little bit longer, even if they don't score, that was a big play.
3 receivers wide right, 1 left, 1 back. Henderson in motion. They hand it off to Henderson around the left side. Breaks one would-be tackler, kind of gets tripped up by the turf monster, but still able to pick up about 7 yards on the carry. And they're going to spot it more like 6,
yeah.
But that'll be 2nd and 4 for the Buckeyes on the 19.
Well, like I said, we're looking at a little bit of a different Buckeyes offense, but, when you got those 2 running backs like that, and, of course, Rofe Llewellyn's very dangerous with the ball himself in the open field, it's interesting to watch tonight.
Yeah, you talk about Wildcat. We've got one if he decides to run. Motion. Fakes the handoff, rolling Llewellyn up the middle, lowers his head, gets down to the 11.
Yeah, and that's the dangerous part for the Leopards on this attack is that you've got 3 guys that are used to running with the ball in their hands, and they're all 3 very good. They're all 3 Division I athletes.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got 3 Division I athletes down there that are going to have the ball in their hand at some point, and you got 2 more out there that could be in the future. Here's a pass to the corner of the end zone. Number 7, touchdown, Tarek.
Tarek Tate on the touchdown. He
What
was
a
well
pass by
covered.
Rowan
A great
Llewellyn.
pass by Rowan, who hasn't played quarterback since junior high. We had talked about earlier before the game.
He's a quick study,
Put it
isn't he?
right on the money, and Tarek, with a guy on him, did that basically like a shield where you're blocking somebody out,
Yeah.
where he kind of kept that guy away from him and extended his arms to catch the ball.
That's his first passing varsity touchdown.
There you go, yeah. First touchdown passing for Rowan Llewellyn, who has every wide receiver record in Gilmer history except for 1, which is touchdowns receiving.
Yeah, that was an absolutely perfect pass. And, of course, Tarek is one of our more physical receivers, and that extra point attempt is good. So, Tarek, I'm just so glad to have him back in here. He's going to be a huge factor in the playoffs. He's a very aggressive, go-get-the-ball guy. He plays angry, and I just love watching him play. I'm so glad he's back.
He missed most of the district play. He missed with being injured. He missed 4 games, basically, and most of the first game they got injured in, so it's great to have him back.
Yeah, awesome to have him. 6:30 left to play in the first quarter. It's 7-7. We'll be right back.
Crowley Funeral Home has been serving families in Gilmer since 1883. Funeral director and Gilmer High School graduate Troy Murray leads the professional staff at Crowley Funeral Home and is committed to providing dignified, respectful, and compassionate assistance to every family in their time of need. Crowley Funeral Home feels strongly about maintaining high standards of excellent service while still keeping prices affordable. At Crowley Funeral Home, we treat your family as our own.
Defense gave up.
And we are back again to Memorial Stadium with 6:30 left to play in the first quarter. Gilmer Buckeyes tied with the Leopards of Gainesville 7-all. And Buckeyes set to kick off with the win. So anticipate them kicking it deep. And they are going to kick a high pooch kick. It's going to hit the turf and bounce around. And the Buckeyes may have
Almost got it. That's why they do that right there, Jeff. Is
Man, oh man.
Put
They
it somewhere
kicked it
a
right
man's
in the
not.
gap.
Yeah.
Yeah, put it right in the gap. It bounces out of bounds, or actually it's knocked out of bounds with the body of a Buckeye.
And look at that. So they're at the 18-yard line. They got the ball, but still, we put them back in good position. We count anything behind the 25 as being a win.
That's a win, yeah.
That's a win. We were talking about the score here. Something interesting this season, Gainesville, when they've led after the first quarter, they are 5-0. When they do not lead after the first quarter, they're 0-6. So they want to lead after this first quarter.
Here's the snap. Fakes the pitch. Rolling to his right side, looking to run. Going to have to throw it away. And he wisely, Buckeyes had great coverage out there this time, and he had to just throw it up. Cade Searcy, the quarterback.
Well, while they run what looks like a spread to the naked eye, like I said, they do a lot of different things in there because of him at quarterback, because he is their leading rusher. he does that run pass option where he's put it in their belly and he pulls up and does it. They do so many different things that it's really hard for a defense to handle all of those assignments. Like I said, they're making some adjustments on the fly as well.
All right, 3 receivers to the right side of the field. That's the short side. High snap. Quarterback keeper, and he is nailed instantly by number 71 for the Buckeyes, who just acts like he's not even blocked through there. That was
Connor Dunn.
Connor Dunn's changed his number.
He's really come on.
As number 40. But Connor is, these last 5 or 6 games, has just been a new guy. I mean, he is just dominant up there on the front.
Well, I don't remember calling his name out a lot during the first half of the season. In the last 4 or 5 weeks, we've called his name out a ton.
Yeah, he earned that spot down there on the defensive line, and he's got a lot of snaps, and he has played strong the last 5, 6, 7 games. I mean, he is got a lot of tackles, puts a lot of pressure on quarterbacks. 2 receivers wide right, 1 left. Man in the slot, 1 back in the backfield. And that is a flag on the play, probably going to go against
false start.
The Leopards. That's going to be false start, and that is bad news if you're a Leopard fan.
We do have my brother Ben in the room with us, and now that he's not having to wipe down the windows and do the camera work, he can be our official. You know how all the big broadcasts, they have their own official? So Ben can be our own official to explain things to us, but he called it right away and said it was going to be on Gainesville.
So you're looking at 3rd and about 18. Here's the snap. They tried to run a little reverse trap. That didn't work. Buckeyes sniffed that one out and dropped him for another loss around the 5-yard line. They're going to give him a generous spot at the 7. Say his forward momentum got him out there, but that brings up a 4th down, and they are in a bind. Looks like 4th and 20.
Well, if this was a result of coaches' adjustments, man, we did a great job adjusting between the first series and the second series.
Yeah, it takes them a little time to figure out exactly what they're doing.
I mean,
here,
Tommy Edwards is a genius if that's what just happened right there.
Kicking from his own end zone, punting into the wind to Eric Tate, picks it up 36. On the 35-yard line, returning down the right side, gets all the way inside the 20 to the 18. 17-yard line, and Buckeyes are in great field position.
Well, perfect storm for Gainesville there. Gilmer's defense was all over them, kept pushing them backwards. They started inside their own 20 anyway because of that kickoff. Then they got pushed backwards, and then they had to punt into the wind, and so they only got to the 36, and Tate, he's a Division I athlete, took it inside their 20, so the Buckeyes start in the red zone already on this series.
All right, 2 receivers wide left, 1 wide right, 1 back in the backfield. Handoff to Haynes around the left side. Got a hole, shoots through it, and touchdown Buckeyes.
Jeff, you see that a lot with the Buckeyes over the years. When they make a great defensive stand, you just go out there and boom, score on the first play. And that is so disheartening and so difficult on your opponent. It really takes a lot out of them, and that's a real key to the Gilmer success, is trying to put a nail in a coffin or a foot on your throat, however you want to say it, and that's what they did just right there. I mean, obviously a long ways from this game being over, but man, what a difference here in just the last couple of minutes.
All right, here's the snap for the point after attempt, and it is up, and it is good. And so Buckeyes on the board once again. And Deborah Bell has asked if we could start calling Connor Dunn Wreck-It Ralph. that's his new name. I know Connor well, so I think I can get away with that. Wreck-It Ralph it is from now on when we call Connor Dunn. And also Alan Metzel asked me today to give a shout-out to Dr. Santos Tividad. He is celebrating his 90th birthday today, and he and his wife Esther are watching the game tonight, listening to us, and they came up this morning, and the team actually sang happy birthday to him, which is really cool. And so he was a doctor at Raglan Hospital right there in Gilmer, delivered probably our parents and and half the town. So happy birthday, Dr. Tividad. We're so glad you guys are listening tonight. You and your lovely wife, please enjoy this Buckeye victory.
Another great thing about small-town Texas high school football is it really is a family. And I know we don't travel as well tonight, because of the cold weather and the distance and all that. But this broadcast too allows people to stay home and watch. And so, I'd like to see more people in the stands, but I know that the Buckeyes can feel everybody at home.
All right, here's the opening kickoff. It's going to hit the turf again. Great kick, fielded well, and returned out to the 34-yard line. And so a little better field position than they had a while ago when they started on the 18. So let's see if the Leopards can get something going offensively.
You know, our kicking game is so underappreciated. Many people just really don't understand how important it is and how we're so fortunate to have a kicker that can put the ball anywhere the coaches ask him to place it with 2 or 3 steps. I mean, because you don't know what he's going to do. I mean, he's going to kick it all over the place.
He can take one step and put it down on the 5. He really can. It's pretty amazing. We have had a string of good kickers, and so hats off to the coaching staff for training all these good kickers. All right, the trip receivers to the right side. One back in the backfield, this time behind the quarterback. Handoff. Nope, quarterback keeper left side. He's got a lot of room to run. And out past the 50, he scampers to the 49 of the Buckeyes, and that was a well-designed play.
Although I thought there was a little bit of movement early, but I guess I was the only one that thought that. But
so big first down right there as
well, we
they
might
showed
say
us a little different offensive
they've
set.
got 3 300-pounders on that offensive line, too. 2 of them go 330 and 335. So you really can't go through them, but they're not that hard to get around. But, you know, they bunched up right there, and then the quarterback just bounced out.
They've got a nice size offensive line. They really do. 2 receivers right, 1 left. Same set as before. Handoff this time up the middle, and he was able to break out of the traffic and get some good yards. That was an 8-yard run on first down.
Buckeyes missed tackle, you know, just past the line of scrimmage. So that allowed them to get into the next level and pick up 7 yards, I guess. So it brings up a 2nd and 3. So, you know, like I said, you got to make your tackles and you don't give up, 7 yards.
2 receivers wide right, 1 left, 1 back. Again, this time lined up behind the quarterback. Here's the snap. Fumble on the play. Ball is on the turf.
I think the Buckeyes got it.
Buckeyes fans thinks they have it.
We'll see who ends up with it. That's what counts.
Ref is indicating Buckeye ball. And he stuck that one in there. Jeremiah Noble came out with the ball. He stuck it in there and decided to pull it out. He was going to keep it and run.
And that's kind of the danger that comes with that run-pass option, or even just the option of whether you're going to give it to somebody or you're going to run. And that's prevalent today's offenses. But if you don't get that exchange down, it can be very dangerous. And we saw that, right there, and we've seen it several times throughout the season.
Well, because a lot of times the back doesn't know. Is he giving it to me? Is he not
and
giving it to me?
And
then he tries to pull it out, and the back's already got a hand on it.
Yeah. And when you put a couple of Buckeye defenders in there in the mix, too, it makes it really difficult.
All right, Buckeye turnover. Quarterback keeper, actually, up the middle. Rowan Fluellen to the 50-yard line. That's about a 7-yard gain on the first carry.
Great job by Rowan there, because there was a lot of pressure in the backfield, and he just kind of slithered out of it. He's very smooth.
No, he flows like water. It's unbelievable. The TCU commit for next year. Want to give a shout out to Todd Robinson tonight, who's listening out in Seymour, Texas. Here's the handoff, 22, Will Henderson, and they are all over that one, and they are going to drop the Buckeyes back for a big loss.
But, I will point out right there that no matter how hard he tried, he was not able to pick Will Henderson up and throw him down on the ground like he was trying. Will is a thick and very tough kid, very tough runner. He just didn't have any blocking on that play, but I was going to be surprised if they were able to throw him down.
Yeah, he is a strong kid, and we're going to get to see him again next year.
Thank goodness.
2 receivers wide right, 1 left, 1 back in the backfield. It's Haynes. Rowan Fluellen, the quarterback. Motion. They're going to hand it to number 7, to Eric, and they are all over him, and Buckeyes are losing yards again.
They're going to give him...
they're going to say he got back to lost a yard.
Yeah, so they're kind of fortunate on that. I mean, he was in the graps the whole time. Now, obviously, he was still trying to get out of it, so I guess that's how they're taught to do it. But he did get up that point, but I wasn't sure if they were going to give him that or, take it back a few more yards. But fortunately for the Buckeyes, that's where it is. But it still brings up a 4th and 9 at midfield. So you got to wonder, I would imagine they'd punt here.
We've got an injured player on the field, so while they're attending him, we're going to attend to one of our sponsors. We'll be right back.
Gilmer National Bank is your hometown community bank, serving people in East Texas for over a century. We are your neighbors, friends, and partners in making this a great place to live. Our employees make us a special place to do business. We are there for you when you need us. Come by and see us and find out what makes people say, "That's my bank." Gilmer National Bank, an equal opportunity lender and member FDIC.
All right, we are back to Mesquite, Texas, Memorial Stadium. Gilmer Buckeyes currently lead, if you're just joining us, currently lead the Gainesville Leopards 14-7 with 2:10 left to play in the first quarter. And Buckeyes have the ball, driving with the wind at their back. And it is 4th down and 9. They're going to punt. So Chris Guillen is in for punting duties. And he should put a good foot in this one with that strong wind behind him. Chris is a good punter. Often puts a good spiral on the ball when he punts. And if he gets one here,
oh, he got it.
Yeah, he got it. He got a good one. Hits the turf, bounces,
Picked up
by number 9, and no flags on the play. Luckily, because we bumped.
Well, we were
into
very,
him.
very lucky
Yeah.
there for the
Number 9
Buckeyes.
picked it up on the 10, brought it back to the 14. So we have pinned them deep. Great punt there by Chris Guillen.
I mean, it wasn't anything malicious by the Buckeyes, but he did bump into him after the end. I've seen many a flag fly for that right there.
A lot of flags fly for that, and would have been within their rights to do it.
Well, so the Leopards trail by 7 with 1:55, and like I said, every game this year for them has come down the first quarter. If they lead the first quarter, they win. If they're behind, they lose. So hopefully the Buckeyes can keep this lead in the last 1:55 of this first quarter.
All right, they send out 2 receivers wide to the right, 2 to the left, 1 back in the backfield. Cersei, the quarterback. Here's the snap. Quarterback keeper, they try to go get that same gap, and it wasn't there. But he scampers outside and still picks up 5 good yards wide to the right. But you saw, we talked about that earlier, he had two shots through that gap, and the Buckeyes figured out how to seal that and force him outside.
Well, if you'll watch, what they do is the receivers are taught, how to block on that. So they run a pattern, and they know he's going to be running. So then they'll curl back around and start picking up linebackers and other defensive backs and linemen that are coming. And that's the design, by design. That's what they do. And I've seen him a lot of games this season bust up for 20, 30, 40 yards on plays like that.
3 receivers right to the left, 1 to the right. Cersei, the quarterback, here's the snap. Drops back, looking to pass. Nobody open, he's having to run, he's going to get sacked.
He picked up technically about a yard and a half. Yeah, 2 yards, I guess. But for all intents and purposes, it was a sack because he was trying to throw the ball, and we managed defensively to cover them, so the coverage sack, and then tackle him. So it wasn't a tackle for a loss or a sack officially, but for the Buckeyes' intents and purposes, that's what it was, and it brings up a 3rd and what? 2?
3rd and 3.
2.5, yeah. A big play here for the Buckeyes, because I would think they'd punt on 4th down if we can hold them.
Well, they'll definitely punt on 4th down, being on the 22-yard line. So we got to hold them for 3 yards right here. Look for heavy penetration by the Buckeyes. There it is, but he missed him, and they were able to possibly get that 1st down. I think he might have got the ball past the marker, and that is going to move the chains.
I'm not sure if Tate was hesitant because he thought maybe he'll pitch it and I got to go get him too or what, but he should have just committed and tackled the quarterback because that one arm on that kid's not going to do it.
No, and he did pick up the 1st down, so it is going to be 1st and 10 from the 24 of the Leopards. They've got a long way to go for pay dirt.
Well, they've got a long ways to go, but, like I said, it's real important for them. And I know they talked about this actually during the week about a good start and getting ahead in the first quarter. They really wanted to be ahead in the first quarter. So I would think if they could at least tie it up, they'd be happy.
Well, they've got less than a minute to do it, and Cersei drops back, and again, under heavy pressure, Seth Jordan chasing him down. He picks up about 3 yards and a flag on the play, and they're going to probably call that a late hit, but it looked really clean from my point of view.
Well, I would like to see a replay. I mean, I don't care if you're running towards the out of bounds. If you hit them while they're still in the green, it's legal.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Watch the. They're not showing the replay
they're
up
not
there.
showing the replay. They'd shown some of them tonight, but I guess they didn't have that one. But it's on the far side of the field from us, so obviously we don't have an angle. But
yeah, that's a 15-yard variety
yeah.
right there. So that's huge gain after picking up the first down to pick up another 15 yards. It looked to me like that was a clean shot. I mean, much cleaner than what they didn't flag over here earlier on the punt return. And
it just makes me wonder sometimes if officials think, well, he was trying to get out of bounds. Well, that doesn't matter.
yeah, if he's on the green, he is fair game. Two receivers stacked right to left. Here's a snap. Quarterback keeper up the middle. Ducks his head. It's number 15, the quarterback this time. He got it all the way out to the 50-yard line. Big 8-yard gain there by number 15. I'm not sure why they traded quarterbacks there.
Well, he might have gotten hurt on that hit.
Well, he may have. Or I thought he might have
really
lost his
hard.
helmet and had to set out a play maybe. But,
I don't think you have to if it's as a result of a penalty, which we didn't agree that it was a penalty. But I don't think you have to sit out if it's that way. But he may actually be hurt.
All right, so let's see what we got here. They got 13 seconds to get this play off. They just now are getting it in. Yeah, they're going to be able to get this play off. It is 2nd and 2. Ball is spotted on the 50-yard line. We have a different quarterback in the game. And we got confusion in the backfield. The quarterback turned to the right. The back went to the left.
He did a good job on that because he went ahead and got what he could.
Well, he
so
picked
went back
up
to the
a yard.
Scrimmage.
Yeah, picked up a yard. Now that's 4th and 1. So the Buckeyes are going to
3rd down and 1. Yeah.
Was that 2nd and?
It was.
Okay. 3rd and 1. And that is the end of the first quarter. And so they're going to flip the field, and they don't have far to flip since the ball's on the 50-yard line. So
we might. I mean, you want to go to a break, or you want to stay here with us? Because I'm not sure how long this is going to take. Like I said, it doesn't take long to flip. They usually, obviously, have a little bit of a timeout.
Yeah, normally if they walk the field, we'll go to commercial, but we'll probably stay right here for a minute.
Like I said, in every game so far this year, just coincidentally, it's kind of first quarter has been the deciding factor for Gainesville, where in 6 games they've been behind, they've gone 0-6, and 5 games they've been ahead, they've been 5-0. So I guess that bodes well for the Buckeyes as they lead 14-7 at the end of the first quarter. But as I was saying, earlier, they've gotten a lot better since the beginning of the season. I mean, new coaching staff, dropping down classification and new quarterback and all that, and they've gotten better every week. And you can tell they're a much better team than.
And I doubt they have the depth on the bench that we have.
I'm sure.
And so that's gonna really matter late in the third quarter tonight, as you'll see the Buckeyes start unleashing. All right, handoff up the middle. Original quarterback Searcy back in the game, and they pick up an easy first down on a 6-yard run, and they are now getting deeper into Buckeye territory. Ball's going to be 1st and 10 on the Buckeye 43-yard line.
That's typical. A lot of times you see that on short yardage situations. Need 1 yard, and if they manage to get that 1 yard, it's like it's just busted out open, so they almost stumble forward for 7 or 8 yards.
Because you got everybody down on the line. All right, 2 receivers left, 1 right, 1 back. Cade Searcy in at quarterback. Hands off. No, he kept the ball, and look who it is. Chris Guillen busts through and just drops him for a loss. That's going to be, he didn't take a step. Chris was all over him on a linebacker stunt.
Great, yeah, I would say great job by Chris on that, but like you said, it was a called play by the coaches, a linebacker stunt, and it was just a delay for, a split second after the snap, and he came completely clean. And it looked like, to our eyes, that he handed the ball off, but Chris, of course, went ahead and hit the quarterback and flipped him, basically, and luckily so, because he kept the ball.
Yeah, 2nd and 14 as they lost 4 yards on that carry. Now they're going to a split backfield, 2 backs. Handoff number 3 around the left side, and Buckeyes get on him, and there's a flag, probably going to be an unintentional face mask, but unintentional or intentional, it's going to be 15 if that's what it was. More than likely, that's going to be the call against the Buckeyes. We're waiting for the referee to let us know. Personal foul, face mask. And that's going to be another 15 yards. That's the second 15-yarder against the Buckeyes tonight. So you're giving up 30 yards. And when you're in round 2 of the playoffs, you don't want to give up any yards if possible, especially not the 15-yard variety. But you know how it is when you're trying to tackle somebody and you're reaching and grabbing for anything you can get your hands on. Sometimes your hand just lands on a face mask, and even if it's temporary and you pull it right back off, if they see it, they're going to call it. So great field position. Buckeye 29-yard line. Leopards are driving. 2 backs in the backfield. Here's the snap. Dropping back. Look at the pass. Got a man open, and he's going to score.
Boy, I tell you what, their quarterback has looked a lot better tonight. I mean, he's thrown, 2 touchdown passes now. And for the season, he came in with only 15 touchdown passes and 14 interceptions. So he's done and his passes are on the money. I mean, he hit his tallest receiver, 6'4" receiver, had a good height advantage against the Buckeyes defender, but he was covered. He just threw a really good pass.
He did. And the extra point is good, so 10-16 left to play, and we're back to square one. It is 14-14 in the second round of the playoff. We'll be right back after these messages.
At Farmers Insurance, we've seen almost everything, so we know how to cover almost anything, even a rock and wreck. He rocked and rolled right into it, but we covered it. At Farmers, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Okay, we're back to Mesquite, and it is back to square one. 10-16 left to play in the second, and it is 14-14 Buckeyes and Leopards. And Buckeyes set to receive the kickoff. This time we will be have the wind at our face, and so we'll see if that has any effect at all on the performance of the Buckeyes.
Well, not to look ahead, but, you know, it's a fact that whoever wins this game is going to play the winner of the Carthage and Van Alstyne game being played tonight, and have a score, Carthage up all over Van Alstyne after the first quarter, 17-0.
Not a big. No, they faked an onside kick. It's a pooch kick. Jeremiah Noble picks it up. Nope. It ended up being Rowan. They were kind of both back there on it. I couldn't tell who grabbed it. Rowan
Did he
returned
think he stepped out of bounds, or did they think he made a fair catch and couldn't run? I'm not sure what happened on
what
that.
the deal was. I think Rowan said, "Give me the ball," and Jeremiah did. So
Okay. It looks like he might have stepped out of
Jeremiah
bounds.
did a good job of turning around and picking up a block immediately. Like I said, that's a future Buckeye star right there. You better get used to hearing that name. Buckeyes are going to send Jeremiah Noble wide to the left side, 2 receivers to the short side. Looks like Haynes is in the backfield. Motion. Handoff to Haynes up the middle. Busts out to the right side. Going to pick up a first down +3, and we have got a flag on the play. More than likely going to be a hold against the Buckeyes.
Well, if it's a penalty, it's usually against the Buckeyes.
It's going to be a hold, more than likely. Yep, holding against the offense, and so that is, instead of a first down, it's going to back us up. Now, it'll be repeat first down, but that's going to back them up. It's going to be 1st and 15. And this time Buckeyes are going to send 2 receivers to the wide side of the field and 2 to the short side of the field.
I stayed quiet on purpose.
Haynes, I'm proud of you right now. I really am, because I'm going to turn your mic off. Motion by Bell. Here's the snap. Handoff up the middle. Haynes got a lane, running for it, going to get the first down. +5, 6, 7 yards past that. 10 yards past the first down marker. That's a 25-yard run.
All
by
10,
Haynes.
all 10 past the first down marker were backwards.
Yeah, it was.
He ran backwards the last 10 yards.
He actually did. He got spun around. See, Joe, when we're quiet and just take what happens to us, the Lord blesses us for the first down.
Is that it?
That's
Okay.
how it works. I'm convinced of it.
I will try that this game.
Yeah,
How about that?
you do your very best and you watch. The Lord will bless us. 2 receivers left, 2 right, and Haynes in the backfield. Motion. Quarterback keeper, big lane, and Rowan Flewellen gets about 5 on that one. That's 2nd and 5. Buckeyes moving down the field.
Well, you know, Gilmer, of course, has a lot of players that go both ways, but if you've noticed, Gainesville's got a lot of guys that are not coming out at all. So they're going both ways and not substituting. So it makes you wonder how long they can continue this. There's about 4 or 5 guys that are doing that, and that's got to hurt them when it's all said and done.
All right, let's see what the Buckeyes have in store. Dropping back, forced out of the pocket, dumps it out to number 9, and another flag on the play.
That was not holding.
And they are going to call that probably holding again. I'm not sure what that call is going to be. Probably holding. But good job there. Rowan Flewellen did scrambling out of the pocket and then turning around and picking up the screen. Offensive line did a good job of getting over there and setting up a great wall.
Well, I sure would like to know what they're going to call on this.
Well, it'll be interesting. Now, remember your commitment earlier before he makes this call.
I've never been that great at commitments. Wow.
Yeah, they're just calling it number 7.
I mean, not only did he not hold, he was trying to hold, I think, and couldn't hold.
That was on number 7, so that's a 10-yard penalty. It's a spot foul.
So the Buckeyes already have at least 50 yards in penalties. I think I might have missed one.
So that's going to be 2nd and 16 or so. So that's just an opportunity to just pack our yards a little bit more tonight.
Must be nice to be the other team that plays Gilmer that never holds.
2 receivers left, 2 right. Up the middle, Rowan Flewellen, tons of room. He's going to take it all the way.
There you go.
Head to the house. Can he get there?
I complained. And
no, he's out of bounds at the 3 or 4 yard line.
I complained and we still picked up 50 yards. So there you go.
I just offset. I offset.
Your goodness?
Yes, it was my goodness. Nice scamper there. He was forced out of bounds by none other than Cade Searcy, who had an angle on him and has got some quick feet himself. So Buckeyes, big gain there by Rowan Flewellen, and great play call there by the Buckeyes coaching staff. They're going to hand this one probably to Haynes, who should be able to get in the – yep, Haynes around the left side, easy score, untouched, and the Buckeyes are back on top.
Well, at least they didn't call us holding again on that play, so I'll take it. Buckeyes obviously needed that just to keep the lead or take the lead again. And like you said, I mean, you know, really on that play, they gained like 120-something yards because of all the penalties.
And look at this. Buckeyes yell fire. They're going for 2, and they got it. So gutsy call there early in the game. 8:40 left to play in the second quarter. Gilmer, after the 2-point conversion, goes up 22-14. We'll be right back.
When tragedy strikes, you don't want to be in a position where you're second-guessing your lawyer's ability or the resolve to get you fairly compensated. When you hire Godarzi & Young, you know you're hiring a law firm that has nationally ranked settlements and verdicts. We have over 2 decades of experience holding 18-wheeler companies accountable for their negligent action. Don't make the mistake of hiring anybody else. Hire the best. Hire Godarzi & Young.
All right, we are back to the action as the Buckeyes go for 2 and get it. It is now 22-14 with 8:40 left to play in the first half. Buckeyes will be kicking off, and the Leopards will have the wind at their back.
Of course, you know, that 2-point conversion, they identify things during the week on film, and then they say, okay, look, if they do this, then we're going to snap it and do it. So obviously it's something they saw, and when they lined up that way, then the Buckeyes executed. But, you know, you have to execute. That's part of it.
There's a real it makes me nervous.
Yeah.
But I love it. That's what makes me feel alive when I watch these games. Here's the kickoff. High pooch kick, left side, and it is a fair catch on the 38-yard line. And so starting off with pretty good field position will be the Leopards.
Well, you know, like I said, some people, you know, wonder why we do that and everything. But there's a lot of reasons why we kick the way that we kick. And a lot, you know, sometimes it's just because we want them to call a fair catch. We're okay with them getting the ball at the 35-yard line or whatever. Sometimes we don't want some of their skilled players with an opportunity in open field to, you know, get loose. And usually the Buckeyes end up on a very positive side when it comes to yards.
When it comes to special teams, nobody plays special teams like we do. I'm convinced of it. Trip receivers to the left side, 1 to the right. Here's the snap. Fumbles the ball.
On the ground.
And you talk about just a blatant fumble. It literally, and the Buckeyes have it. I mean, that hit Searcy's hands, and he literally, like he had bricks for hands.
He just dropped it.
He never even caught it. It just like hit his finger.
Took his eyes away or something. But the Buckeyes defense has done this all season. They came into tonight's game with 24 turnovers in 10 games, 12 interceptions, and 12 fumble recoveries. And, already tonight have 2. The Buckeyes came into tonight with a plus 13 on the turnover ratio. So, right now to plus 2, that bodes well for the Buckeyes and the game. And we're only 8 points away from 30 points. And as I've told you, in the last 23 years, the Buckeyes win 95% of their games and they score at least 30 points.
Well, they're close to it. Hopefully he'll get it on this drive. Here's the snap. Handoff, number 9, Haynes.
Wow.
Running hard down inside the 25 to the 24. They're going to spot it on the 25, first down.
Yeah, well, there is a player for Gainesville behind in the backfield's hurt. I'm waiting for the official to call him. I guess he finally decided, all right, if you're not going to blow the whistle, I'll get back up and play. So.
All right, so we've got Buckeyes driving on the 25-yard line. You got 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, 1 back in the backfield. Here's the snap. Quarterback keeper on the left side, got a hole to run through and get some good positive yards all the way down to the 16-yard line. That's Rowan Fluellen on the carry.
Pickup of 9, so now it brings up a 2nd and 1. And there's lots of play calls that you can do with a 2nd and 1.
So we are lining up once again, 2 receivers wide to the right. You got Tarek by himself to the left. Handoff again, number 9. Look at him breaking through tackles again, running backwards down to the 5-yard line. And Haynes just doing exactly what he does best. And that is moving, churning those legs, keeping the ball, running north and south.
Buckeyes really
going with a
fast.
hurry-up hurry-up offense here. Handoff again to Haynes, and he is in the end zone.
Thing of beauty to watch these 2 running backs.
Oh, I just love it. I love watching them.
I mean, you know why Buckeyes run 70% of the time now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. When you got 2 All-State, backs, I'd be running 70% of the time too. And Rowan Fluellen so far tonight as quarterback has just done an outstanding job.
Done a great job on short notice, and like I said, hadn't played quarterback since he was in junior high. So, that kudos to the senior of coming out and kind of putting that on the shoulders and leading the team so far. He's done a very good job.
Here's the snap. Kick is up into the wind and a perfect kick right down the center. And Buckeyes score once again. Back on the board here, 29-14. The Buckeyes lead with 7:33. We'll be right back.
Do you enjoy watching your favorite TV programs on your smartphone or tablet? Or maybe you'd rather watch them on your Roku or Amazon Fire TV. Tired of having to change your TV input from your old traditional cable to watch your favorite streaming apps? If so, we have great news for you. eTex is making the move to streaming and has launched a new app. eTex TV allows you to watch over 130 channels in Full HD on your streaming or mobile devices. This means you can simply download the eTex TV app, subscribe, and start watching. With all your favorite functions like DVR and Pause Live TV, and new features like Restart TV. To learn more, visit www.etex.net or contact a customer service rep at 903-797-HELP. That's 903-797-4357.
All right, back to the action, and just in time as the Buckeyes are about to kick off, the wind has actually blown the ball off the tee. So it'll take just a moment to get that reset here. Again, 29-14, Buckeyes moving along quite well with a lot of momentum. Deep kick. It's going to be fielded on about the 23-yard line. Nice return by number 7 up the middle. He found a seam and got all the way to the 50.
So, like I said,
nice run there by number 7.
That's why sometimes we do that little pooch to somebody that makes them really call a fair catch, because we'd rather give it to them at 38 than we would let them return to the 50 or to our 40. Well, I guess they're right at the 50. So Buckeyes lead 29-14. I mentioned a minute ago that 30 is the magic number. So we're 1 point away, but since 2000, Gilmer is 227 wins to 12 losses. That's 95% when they score 30 or more points in the game.
I like those odds. Here's the snap. Searcy drops back, looking to pass. Plenty of time, dumps one across the middle to a wide open number 4, and he is drugged down from behind by number 29 for the Buckeyes. That is Alex Sims.
Well, 21-yard gain right there on first down puts them, inside the Buckeyes 30. And
well, he had plenty of time to throw that ball.
So far, the only thing that's really worked for them is throwing the ball tonight.
Yeah,
I mean, a couple of scrambles.
He's
but
throwing the ball really well.
Yeah, he looks like an all-state quarterback throwing the ball.
Yeah, where's that
and
been
he was
all
average
year?
all year.
His dad's the head coach. He's probably over there going, where's this been all year? Trip receivers to the right side, one to the left. Cersei's in the backfield in the shotgun. Handoff up the middle, breaks one would-be tackler and gets a nice 9-yard run. And Buckeyes just not wrapping up there and making the tackle. They make it all the way to the 20, so they are knocking on the door of the red zone. Buckeyes are going to have to bow their necks here.
So, Jeff, another amazing statistic based on that 30 points is that since 1980, the Buckeyes have lost only 15 games when they scored at least 30 points.
Since 1980?
80.
That's pretty incredible.
So that's 43 seasons. They've only lost 15 times if they scored 30 points in a game.
Pretty remarkable. All right. 2nd and 1. Here's from the shotgun. Cersei's going for the corner of the end zone.
Well,
good defense there by the Buckeyes.
I say good defense by the offense because that's what it turned into.
He batted it. Right. He batted it down.
Yeah, he had to switch roles from receiver to defender because the Buckeyes defensive back did a good job getting himself in place for an interception, and so he had to make a play just to keep it away from the Buckeyes defender.
Yeah, and I want to point out that the receiver that they keep going to, especially there in the end zone, is about 6'5".
He's 6'4" on the program.
Is he 6'4"?
Yeah, that's what they say.
He is a big kid.
We don't have any defensive backs at 6'4". I'll tell you that.
So those are hard to defend. Believe me, I've done it before with my 5'8" frame, and it's kind of hard. Buckeyes drive them backwards.
Now we see why they're throwing the ball.
Yeah, they tried one up the middle, and the Buckeyes defensive line sniffed that one out. I think that was first guy there was Kendall Jackson.
I think Kendall let us know that he was the first one back there too. You know, so.
No mistake. He didn't want to make sure there was a mistake.
Oh, but I love that though. I mean, these kids need to celebrate and stuff. I mean, that's part of the game, and as long as you're not showing off on anybody else, then all that is pure excitement on Kendall's part for making that play. That's all that.
Well, Kendall's had an incredible year this year.
Yeah,
he has played so well. Such a tough kid from that linebacker position, and a fine young man to boot. He does some work for me every once in a while at the house, and he is a respectful young man. Comes from a great family. Obviously, his grandfather was our coach, and they are going to call a timeout. We're going to take a timeout too, and we'll be right back. Texas Heritage National Bank would like to invite the Buckeye Nation to visit our new full-service bank in Gilmer. We are conveniently located on Highway 271 and Redbud Street with a brand new facility ready to serve our friends and neighbors. We offer competitive rates on all of our deposit products, as well as some great options for business financing to help your business grow from 5 employees to 500 employees. Texas Heritage National Bank would also like to take this time to thank all of the teachers, administration, and school board for investing in the future of our kiddos. We would also like to wish all of the student athletes a wonderful and safe year. Come see us soon. All right, we're back to Memorial Stadium in Mesquite, Texas. The Buckeyes 29, Leopards 14 with 5:13 left to play in the first half. And who was that timeout charged to? I didn't even pay attention.
I think that was Gainesville.
Was that Gainesville? All right. Well, they know how important this is. They just lost some yards.
And they did take it off the board there.
And it is now 4th and 2. They're going to go for it. So
that's why they called the timeout.
They've got something special coming right here. And this is probably going to be on the legs of the quarterback, Cersei. So key on the quarterback. Here's the snap. And they option it, and what a great option play they executed.
Well,
Cersei ran right up to the line where they were in his face.
We stopped everything but the last guy, and it was a high pitch.
Oh, my gosh. I can't believe they even got that out there. What a great job.
Did you think it was forward? I thought it was just right down the line or behind it.
Yeah, it looked
so they count that as a forward pass then.
Yeah, that was something.
Which, once again, that's the only thing they've been able to do against Buckeyes defense.
Well, that could have easily been picked off
right.
and run all the way back, but they went for it, and it paid off for them. So kudos to them. Great, well-executed play.
Need to see what the Buckeyes defense can do now
Here's
inside the red
snap.
zone.
Dropping back, rolling to his right side under pressure, he's going to throw it away. And so there's a wasted play. And
Aaron Bell with the pressure there for the Buckeyes, number 0, the junior linebacker, junior defensive lineman. It looks like a linebacker out there running them down. So.
Yeah, he can play. He did play linebacker earlier in the year. He can play down line. He can play linebacker. I mean, with his size,
about 230 pounds.
Yeah, he is. He's a big one.
Well, a big play here for the Buckeyes. Obviously, I mean, they're inside the red zone, and we just need to see if the Buckeyes can strengthen up their defense and keep them out.
All right, here's the snap. Handoff, number 3 up. Nope, quarterback keeps it. He had me fooled, and they drive him back.
Picked up about 2, it looks like, Jeff.
Looks like number 19, Chris Ginn, the first guy there, but he was helped out by several other Buckeyes. Maybe a couple on the play, yeah. 2nd and 7.
Third. Threw the ball out first time.
Yeah, that's right. 3rd and 7.
3rd and 7. Big play here because if the Buckeyes can stop them, you know, they got the wind at their back, and they've got a decent kicker. They haven't kicked a lot this year, but you got to wonder, would they go for it this far down, 4th, down, or would they go ahead and try to kick it?
That's going to be something we may find out here in a minute. With 3rd and 7,
let's hope we find out.
I think the Buckeyes are good for it. They're going to probably put this ball in the air, roll into his right side, looking to throw back across his body.
Yeah.
He goes to the corner of the end zone.
Well defended. I mean, we had everybody covered. It may not have been right on, but with the pressure and him having to throw back against everything, it just there's too much there for me.
What they count on that play is when they roll to the right side, they want the
pressure to come
corner
and open,
to run, and it leaves the guy standing there open in the end zone, but didn't happen. So now we get an answer to our question. They are going to try to kick the field goal here.
Be a 30-yard field goal.
Wind at their back. So clean snap. It is a sloppy kick, and he missed it.
I think it was a little bit wide left. It might have not made it over the crossbars if it had. I'm not sure because it was
I think it was wide left and low.
It was hard to tell from our angle exactly what. In fact, we weren't 100% sure he didn't make it.
Yeah, if he would have made it, it would have been barely over the crossbar on the bottom left corner. But
hey, what about the Buckeyes defense? Now, maybe they gave up some yardage, but they kept them out of the end zone. That's the important thing.
Yeah, and we told you at the top of the show that, this Searcy was going to be a force to be reckoned with, and he has been so far. So Buckeyes take over 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line.
Well, the Buckeyes have scored on 4 of their 5 possessions, so, they've done a good job offensively.
Handoff, number 9, Haynes, running hard up the middle, 9-yard gain. And Haynes just adding to those incredible yards he's got stacked up for the year.
Now, we haven't seen 22 a lot in the last few series, so I'm a little bit concerned.
Hadn't seen Will. He played some receiver. He played inside receiver for several downs. Here's the snap. And that was designed to be a draw.
Picked up the first down,
They sniffed it, but we did pick up a flag.
Another flag, so I'm sure it's holding on the Buckeyes there.
Well, it's either holding or they might have accidentally grabbed a face mask.
I know. I was just kind of being petty.
It could be a face mask.
Maybe we face masked ourselves.
That could have. It's going to be a face mask. So there's 15 yards back of those penalties we gave away.
First penalty against
these refs
Gainesville,
are so fair. Look at this. They call it both ways.
Yeah, now it's only 6 penalties to 1. Yeah.
So the ball's now going to be all the way down to the Buckeye 45-yard line, and we'll take that all day. 2 receivers left, 1 right. Here's the snap.
Nice
handoff there by Rowan to number 9 and across the 50-yard line.
For somebody that hasn't played quarterback in 4 years, to take that snap and do an inside handoff with one hand and then kind of go up with the other as a little fake, that was very impressive.
Yeah, well, he is just has a nose for football. Just some people have that gift, and he's one of them. Handoff again, and Haynes turns and cuts back, and what should have been a loss maybe, he's able to pick up 2.
Tough running by Haynes. The Gainesville Leopard, defensive line made a push and happened to push right in the right direction of where the Buckeyes' run was going, and Haynes made something out of nothing.
All right, Buckeyes driving. Haynes still in the game. Rowan Fluellen, the quarterback. High snap. Rowan's able to pull it down, hand it to Haynes. He gets to the 45-yard line.
Right at the first down
marker.
Right
at the first down marker.
It looks like it's the first down.
I don't know. They're going to.
They may measure, but they called it fourth down already? I think I'd ask for a measurement here.
So 4th and inches. We'll just say 4th and inches. So Buckeyes going to go for it, obviously. Haynes still the back in the backfield. And again,
less than 2 minutes to go, too. So.
This could easily be a, handoff, or Rowan could take it right up the gut. Here's the snap. Rowan's going to take it himself, and he easily picks up the first down.
Of where he wanted to go, depending on where the blocks took him and where the opening was, and he did a good job of picking up. And he was a little bit shaken up on that play. Of course, Rowan, we forget, missed the last 2 regular season games with a little bit of an injury he sustained up in Paris against North Lamar, and so on that particular one, we got kind of twisted and thrown down. He might have tweaked that injury a little bit right there. Hopefully, he'll be all right.
Yeah, he'll walk it off. I think they're resetting
the clock,
yeah, they're
putting 13
setting the
seconds
clock
back on there for some reason.
So Buckeyes pick up a very important first down there. They're going to be 1st and 10.
Well,
from now the Leopard 42-yard line.
I mean, just think about it. I mean, it's 29-14, and the Buckeyes have the ball, 1:42 to go. And if they had not picked up that first down and allowed Gainesville to come back and score, now you're looking at a 29-21, maybe 22 game going into halftime. Whereas if the Buckeyes can go down and score, now they might be leading by 3 touchdowns. That's a huge difference. This is a big series here for both teams.
3 touchdowns, but four scores.
Right.
Yeah, because they got the 2-point conversion. So 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right.
Well, it could be 3 scores.
And now
they do 2 points. But
now
yes.
High snap,
wow.
Forced to run it, and number 17, Rowan Fluellen. That ball went
5.
high.
Yeah.
He was on a broken play. He was able to pick up 5 yards on it. So you'll take that any day of the week. Will Henderson is in at running back. You were asking about that a while ago. He is checked back into the game.
Glad to see that. Not that 9, I don't like 9 being out there. I love 9 being out there, but
like I said, I would have him in a split backfield every play, every game. It forces you to respect that up front. That pass was intended there for number 7, Tarek, and that just falls incomplete. He'd catch 999 out of 1,000 of those, and so but that one's going to fall incomplete.
So brings up a big 3rd down and 6 here for the Buckeyes. Obviously, they're in 4 down territory because so they don't have to pick it up here, but it'd be nice if they went ahead and picked up a first down here instead of leaving it up for debate on 4th down.
All right, so we're looking at 3rd and 6. Here's the snap. Handoff, 22, Will Henderson runs into his own man. He is fighting for yardage, and they get out to looks like the 34-yard line. That is going to be just shy of the first down marker. They're going to be a couple of yards shy, so they'll certainly be going for it here. And that is a timeout on the field by the Buckeyes because they have 1:15 and they want to get another score, so we'll be right back after these messages.
These burgers, serving you for over 40 years.
All right, we are back to Memorial Stadium with 1:15 left to play in the first half. Gilmer leads the Leopards 29-14. Buckeyes coming out of a called timeout because they need a 2-yard gain, really a little more than 2 yards. It's 4th and 2. Ball is on the 29-yard line of the Leopards. So let's see what the Buckeyes have in stall here. They've got number 9, Haynes, back in the game. They send Webb in motion. Handoff. Number 9 is going to easily pick it up. He's going to take it to the house. Will he beat the one? No. And looky there. Cersei denied another touchdown.
I hope he's not hurt. He's laying down a little bit extra long. Maybe he's just upset he didn't score. Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, he's fine. He jumps up,
Gives
and
me a
that
little
was
pause of concern
not only
right
a
there.
big first down, that was just a great run,
Yeah.
almost a touchdown, and 1:07 left on the clock.
Well, Haynes is a touchdown maker. He's one of the best in Gilmer history, so I wouldn't be surprised to see him with another opportunity here.
Yep, there's the opportunity handoff, and he has got
He's
and he's in there for. Is that his third
Such
one?
great vision.
Is that his
great,
third
I
one?
believe so.
Third one of the night. Haynes in the end zone again. Buckeyes score in 2 plays in 14 seconds. And now 35.
After the timeout, you mean?
After the timeout. So they're looking to see, are they going to go for 2? Or are they going to kick the extra point here? Wind is at their face.
So Haynes has surpassed Justin Bus Johnson, for third place all time for Gilmer rushing touchdowns behind Chris Boyd and Stump Godfrey.
Those are that's a pretty good list to be on. Kick is up and good, and the Buckeyes are rolling. It is now 36-14 with 1:01. We will be right back to conclude the first half of play.
First National Bank. Together, we're better. We're a regional bank, big enough for all of East Texas, that cares and is invested in the people and communities we serve. With the strength and services to meet the needs of every customer, big or small. From business financing for big companies and small mom and pops to our family of personal banking customers. First National Bank of East Texas. Together, we're better. And we think that's kind of a big deal.
All right, we're back to Memorial Stadium where the Buckeyes are set to kick off to the Leopards. 1 second left in this game. Buckeyes now lead 36-14 if you're just now joining us. And so far it's been all about the Buckeyes tonight.
Well, Nashton Haynes came in tonight with 50 offensive touchdowns in his career, and if we're keeping track right, I think he scored 3 tonight. We don't have our statistician here tonight, myself or Mark Skinner. So I'd put him 53 for the year. For his career.
Fair catch called on the 33-yard line.
Which puts him behind Chris Boyd, Stump Godfrey, and Justin Johnson for the all-time list again. So, and that's all career touchdowns, offensive. Which obviously mirrors the running touchdowns, similarly.
Yeah, how far is he behind Stump Godfrey on touchdowns?
That would actually, if he's got 3 tonight, that only puts him 2 behind Stump. So I've hopefully between tonight and maybe next week at least he'll come second place, but he'll really have to perform well to catch Chris Boyd, who leads the pack at 75 all-time touchdowns.
That's amazing. Handoff up the middle. Nope, quarterback keeper, and he's got a huge running lane. And he slides down.
Do you think he thought the referee was a Gilmer back and was going to hit him?
I don't know if that or his coach is telling him to slide or what.
He could have picked up 20 more yards possibly.
He could have definitely picked up the first down. He didn't even quite get to the marker.
Yeah, that's a little strange. The quarterback the referee was right there, so I'm not sure if that's what he thought.
Looking to pass, he rolls to his left side. Heavy
Got
pressure.
the ball on the ground,
Ball's
too.
on the ground. Buckeyes are going to pick it up.
There we go.
Buckeyes have
it. Great job. 30 seconds to play, too.
Scooped it up. Who is
Stop the
that?
clock.
Number 66, Seth Jordan.
Jordan.
We talked about this at the coaches show.
You don't see
that
a
the ball
66
is like
very often.
a magnet to this kid. He scoops so many fumbles, and none bigger than that one right there. I thought he was going to take it in for the score, but he gets all the way down to around the 10-yard line. Great job there by Seth getting to the ball. I didn't see who hit him and caused the fumble. Did anybody catch that?
Well, he really.
It looked like Braylon, but I'm not sure.
He wasn't even wrapped up.
He already had 3 fumble recoveries for the season. That gives him 4 right there.
4. All right. Look at this.
And
Number
touchdown,
17
easily.
touchdown. Easy touchdown.
Great blocking.
And we got a.
Is there a penalty?
Yes.
They threw the. Well, that's why he scored so easily, apparently, because the Buckeyes hold on almost every play. So,
So we are now. Yeah, that's going to be a holding call against the Buckeyes. Back them up.
So now we have close to 100 yards in penalties this half.
So we've got instead of being on the 10-yard line, depending on where that spot was, they're going to move us all the way back to the 22-yard line.
I mean, that's big, really. I mean, you're talking about a 29 or 30-point lead, and if the Buckeyes don't score here, that call could be costly. Could be costly.
All right.
Well, I'm not saying they didn't hold. I'm just saying.
All right, here we go. Number 9, Haynes in the backfield. Going to pass it, puts the touch on it, under throws it, and luckily their defender wasn't looking for it.
Well, you know, if Tate had made more of an effort to get back to the ball, I would hope that the officials would have called what it was, a pass interference. But since Tate just kind of gave up on it, I guess it just gave the officials opportunity to no flag that, no call it, because they could not do the contact they did downfield with the ball in the air, but they did it anyway. And I guess since Tate didn't sell it, the Buckeyes didn't get the call. So now they've got 17 seconds, and usually it only means a couple of plays.
All right, so we got 2 receivers right, 2 left. And looks like we got some movement. That's going to back up the Buckeyes another 5.
It's like we just had no idea that it was possible that we could get the ball back with 30 seconds, and we've just fallen apart after that first, holding call.
Still plenty of time to get in the end zone. They're going to back them up 5 yards, so that is going to be 2nd and 25.
But Buckeyes really are very, very close to 100 yards in penalties this first half.
17 seconds remain in the first half. Buckeyes looking at 2nd and 25, ball spotted on the 27. Rowan Fluella, the quarterback. Here's the snap. Rolls to his left side. Throws downfield, and look at this. Great pass and great catch by number 15, Webb. And what a great job he does reeling that one in. And Rowan Fluella looks like he's been playing quarterback all year.
Well, and that also really is going to help open up, the offense, because the defense has been starting to kind of just, stay in and pile up because they know that Gilmer's running the ball a lot. So when he connects on passes like that, for the rest of the game, it should help out a little bit, spreading the defense out a bit.
All right, here's the snap. Another pass to the end zone. And look at this.
Got it. Touchdown.
Unbelievable.
Call it. It's a touchdown.
What a great job. I can't wait to watch
Great
that on
job
replay.
by Tate.
Listen,
Concentrate on that tilt ball.
I can't wait to do the coach's show on Sunday because I know that's going to be a highlight that Allen's going to pull out. But that was tipped by the defender, and somehow Tarek Tate able to keep his feet in bounds and pick up that ball. What concentration that took.
Now, we drew that play up. It's called a defensive tip touchdown.
Yeah.
And so, they throw it so the guy can tip it right to our receiver.
That was fantastic. And the kick is up and good. And look at that, 5 seconds on the clock. I think we ought to come out and kick an onside kick. We'll be right back.
I'd be for that.
After these messages.
Please join Jeff Rash and Alan Metzel each Monday morning for the Gilmer Buckeyes Coaches Show. Every week, Jeff and Alan discuss elements of the program, speak with special guests, give player updates, review key plays from the prior week, and give insights on the opponent for the current week. As a fan, this is your chance to go into the locker room and behind the scenes. To view the Coaches Show, go to GilmerBuckeyes.com and click on the Coaches Show button. Go Buckeyes!
All right, we are back with 5 seconds left on the clock, and the Buckeyes just absolutely check the Carthage score before we go to halftime. Do you mind? 40-0. Carthage score 43-14 here. Gilmer against Gainesville with 5 seconds left, and Buckeyes about to kick off, and this will be pretty much it. And they'll go into halftime with a huge lead. Would you have called this 43-14?
No, probably not, but it doesn't surprise me either. And anytime a team has, 3 or 4 turnovers, it gets really hard to.
We did kick an onside kick.
It gets really hard for the opposing team to, you can't play a game against a team like the Buckeyes and have 3 or 4 turnovers in a half and expect to be anywhere close,
Even with the penalties.
Right.
Against the Buckeyes, your turnovers are always going to be an absolute killer.
Well, and they've had a couple that were just their own fault, and then they've had a couple that the Buckeyes have, played a big hand in. And sometimes you can't do a lot about the ones where the defense plays a big hand in, but you can do something about the ones where there's no pressure and you're dropping the ball on the ground, and that's what's really hurt them. kind of like, Chapel Hill, the first game of the season for the Buckeyes, 7 turnovers,
All right, folks, that is it for the first half. Gilmer Buckeyes with an impressive lead, 43-14. And stop, don't go to your kitchen because we have a special treat for you. E-Tex, Charlie Cano, our good friend over at E-Tex, has put together an incredible hype video that we're about to debut right here. So you're going to be among the first to ever see it. So enjoy this hype video from the Gilmer Buckeyes. It's about 3 minutes long, and you're going to love it. Here we go. Roll that tape.
Ready, yeah. Oh, locked in, they don't wanna let me get out. I'ma put you on a bench, you gotta sit out. Hit the street and had a block going crazy. Mama sound playing with my life and can't nobody save me up. I got steeds, they can't mess with my technique. Yeah, I'm a OG boy, don't disrespect me. Yeah, what with me, I had your whole gang quarantine. Get the mobs and leave your block spotless like I'm Mr. Clean. Ooh. Back in 2010, I had a plan. Now 2021, they run the bands. Living in the future, I'm advanced. And when I get back outside, I make sure they understand I'm the man. Yeah, that's right. I make sure they understand that I'm the man. Yeah. If you ain't talking about no bands, that's a language I don't understand. I'm the man. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Chance and now you lost. Hey, that's expensive. What it cost? I don't look, I just floss. I be dripping like I'm Voss. Hit the mall and bought it all. All my diamonds clear. Blue diamonds is flawless. I could be a designer. You can shop up in my closet. Yeah, all my pieces custom. You can't go find it at Target. On the crib with my wallet. And I ain't even pay a deposit. Yeah, what now? We pull up with no sticks. Bust down. Oh, thought he really. She do splits, I need 100% cause I got commas on my wrist, yeah, commas. Back in 2010 I had a plan, yeah. Now 2021 they bring them bands. I've been living in the future, I'm advanced. And when I get back outside, I make sure they understand I'm the man, yeah, that's right. I make sure they understand that I'm the man, yeah. If you ain't talking about no bands, that's a language I don't understand.
Juicy's Burgers, serving you for over 40 years.
Braden Rash, senior, number 26, running back, linebacker.
Mike Colbert, senior, number 6, outside linebacker, running back.
Connor Dunn, senior, number 40, D-line.
Asher Haynes, senior, number 9, running back and outside linebacker.
Dylan Henson, senior, number 27, linebacker.
Braden Seymour, senior, number 77, center.
Chris Guillen, senior, number 19, QB.
Sergio, senior, number 60, O-line, D-line.
Zach Easley, number 12, senior, DB.
Braylon Ward, senior, number 44, D-line, tight end.
Ron Llewellyn, senior, number 17, receiver and safety.
Tyson Wilson, senior, number 1, strong safety.
Kendall Jackson, senior, number 2, linebacker.
Omero Rona, senior, number 3, outside linebacker and fullback.
My name is Cade Bowman. I'm a senior, number 4, receiver and corner.
Seth Jordan, senior, number 5, D-line.
Kevion Brinkley, senior, 24, running back, outside linebacker.
Dustin Morrow, senior, number 32, D-line.
Tay Webb, senior, 33, D-line receiver.
Davey Branscombe, senior, 34, fullback and defensive lineman.
Landon Manning, senior, 72, offensive line.
Javarian Martin, senior, number 54, O-line, D-line.
Elizabeth Posada, senior, number 70, O-line, D-line.
Stone Bates, senior, 46, outside linebacker.
Jose Govea, senior, 84, kicker.
Aaron Bell, junior, number 0, middle linebacker and fullback.
Nathan Arias, junior, number 71, D-line.
Jaden Edmond, junior, number 18, quarterback.
Demarion Hackett, junior, number 21, inside receiver and corner.
Harrison Lofton, junior, number 16, quarterback, outside linebacker.
Cameron Brown, junior, number 50, D-line.
Casher Mahoney, junior, number 68, O-line, D-line.
Terry Tate, junior, number 7, wide receiver and safety.
Jerem Pilcher, junior, number 78, center.
Elias Castillo, junior, number 20, inside linebacker and fullback.
Connor Dodd, junior, number 14, wide receiver and safety.
Jamar Bird, junior, number 25, receiver and corner.
Dervay Smith, junior, 43, running back and outside linebacker.
Justin Jones, junior, number 47, outside receiver and outside linebacker.
Nick Zamaron, junior, 31, fullback and linebacker.
Riley Barnes, junior, number 64, O-line, D-line.
Leno Diaz, junior, number 37, fullback, middle linebacker.
Alex Isaida, junior, number 38, inside linebacker, fullback.
Kobe Webb, junior, number 45, receiver and corner.
Luke Holyfield, junior, 30, D-line, fullback.
Andrew Davis, junior, number 83, wide receiver, D-line.
Sean Wallace, junior, 55, offense line, defense line.
Bentley Schreiner, junior, number 41, receiver and corner.
Jeremiah Noble, sophomore, number 13, wide receiver, outside linebacker.
Lucas Cano, sophomore, number 75, O-line, D-line.
Brenner Webb, sophomore, 15, receiver, free safety.
Alex Sims, sophomore, number 29, outside linebacker, running back.
Caden Tennyson, sophomore, 11, quarterback.
Coach Kerry Lane, I coach quarterbacks. Coach Clay Causey, inside receivers, inside linebackers, Bruce Junior High.
Coach Brody Lipsy,
offensive coordinator.
Coach Markeithel and Tate, running backs.
Coach Blevin Burns, coaching the junior high fullbacks and outside linebackers and running backs.
Max Lowe, coach offense, defensive line at the junior high.
Steve York, assistant athletic director.
Coach Dylan Bowman, cornerbacks coach.
Coach Daniel Dodd, I do inside linebackers.
Coach Parker, coach the outside linebackers.
Coach Rob Dewar, athletic trainer.
Coach Daniel Grigsby, defensive line.
Coach Weston Griffiths, offensive line.
Coach Riley, secondary.
Coach Tommy Edwards, defensive coordinator.
Coach Schaefer, assistant O-line.
Coach Alan Metzel, and I'm the head coach and athletic director. Coach Randall Kennedy, I coach inside receivers.
Coach Jaden Parrish, I coach fullbacks and tight ends.
Coach Olin Johnson, I coach outside receivers.
Brad Britton, safeties.
Coach Todd Fenton, junior high.
Two-time Hall of Fame inductees, Brent Godarzi and Marty Young. Back-to-back #1 trucking firm in the nation. Back-to-back best attorney and best law firm in East Texas.
It's fully loaded, great gas mileage, 30,000-mile warranty.
I like it. What else do you have?
Here's one. It's fully loaded, great gas mileage, 30,000-mile warranty.
Looks like the same car.
Exactly the same. But this one's $120 less per month.
What's the catch?
No catch if you use Credit Union of Texas. Let me show you.
With the Credit Union of Texas Flex Auto Loan, you get the car of your dreams. Lower payments, no hassle. Get started now at cutx.org.
Crowley Funeral Home has been serving families in Gilmer since 1883. Funeral director and Gilmer High School graduate Troy Murray leads the professional staff at Crowley Funeral Home and is committed to providing dignified, respectful, and compassionate assistance to every family in their time of need. Crowley Funeral Home feels strongly about maintaining high standards of excellent service while still keeping prices affordable. At Crowley Funeral Home, we treat your family as our own.
Gilmer National Bank is your hometown community bank, serving people in East Texas for over a century. We are your neighbors, friends, and partners in making this a great place to live. Our employees make us a special place to do business. We are there for you when you need us. Come by and see us and find out what makes people say, "That's my bank." Gilmer National Bank, an equal opportunity lender and member FDIC.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Memorial Stadium, Mesquite, Texas, where the Gilmer Buckeyes lead the Gainesville Leopards 43-14. Joe, impressive first half for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, it was. You know, the scoring came in bunches. Oh, look there, see? I forgot to turn my mic on, so I'm coming off for you, so hopefully they can hear me now.
Let me set you up again.
We're not professionals.
Joe, what do you think about that first half of play for the Buckeyes?
Well, obviously it was impressive. A lot of scoring, came in bunches near the end. And like I said earlier, that it's one of these things where you can't turn the ball over as much as Gainesville did and expect to be in a ball game with Gilmer. It's just too hard to do, and Gilmer really made them pay for those turnovers.
Yeah, they did. So 3 fumbles in the first half, and Buckeyes were able to capitalize on those and get scores off of all of those. Buckeyes only punting 1 time, I believe, in the first half, so able to score each time they had a possession. And they're going to do like a little short Onside kick, if you want to call it a pooch kick, you can, but that's going to be a fair catch there by Jeremiah Noble, and the Buckeyes are going to take over in outstanding field position, 1st and 10 from their own 46.
Well, as if a 29-point lead wasn't enough, the Buckeyes deferred after winning the coin toss.
Yeah.
Deferred to the second half, and of course took the ball. So now they get the ball almost at midfield to start the second half. And they could really put this game out of reach if it wasn't already.
All right, starting the second half in the backfield, it's going to be number 17, Rowan Flewellen at quarterback, and number 22, Will Henderson. Handoff to Will up the middle, breaks free in the open.
Touchdown.
And he has got a couple of guys to beat. Look at him running, scampering down the sideline, finally forced out of bounds around the 21.
Well, when I said touchdown and called it, I expected him to go straight up the middle, and with his 10-4-2 speed, I didn't think anybody was going to catch him, but they kind of blocked it out a little bit well and forced him to the sideline. So instead of a touchdown, he only got about a 40-yard gain.
Yeah, poultry.
Only a 40-yard gain.
Poultry, 40 yards. Will Henderson still the back in the backfield. Here comes the snap. Handoff to Will once again. Look at that hole. And right up the gut he goes, and an easy touchdown, and a great job by the offensive line, opening up just an absolute, I could have driven an F-150 through that hole. Great job there by the offensive lineman. And if you see coming off the field on the offensive side of the ball, number 56, who is normally our nose guard, but you see Braylon Ward coming off of there, and he was one of the reasons that we had a hole that big out there.
Well, we've had a few kids have to step up this week and play some positions that they're not normal, positions for them, and they've done a real good job.
All right, here's the extra point attempt after last week's struggle. He has been perfect tonight. That ball was wet and windy, and it was really hard for them to manage off the tee, but they get the extra point there. So Buckeyes extending their lead 50-14 with 11:43 left to play. We'll be right back.
At Farmers Insurance, we've seen almost everything, so we know how to cover almost anything, even a rock and wreck. He rocked and rolled right into it, but we covered it. At Farmers, we know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
All right, we are back again in Memorial Stadium. The wind has actually died down here in the stadium from where it was in the beginning of the ball. We got a gentle breeze coming out of the north. It's still cold. We got a lot of people in thick coats down here as the Buckeyes traveled really well tonight.
Especially compared to Gainesville.
Compared to Gainesville, we had a further distance to travel. The Buckeyes, Army of Buckeyes always travels well. I see a lot of orange and black blankets down there. But Buckeyes running away with this one tonight so far, 50-14, and an entire half left to play. So Buckeyes set to kick off again.
Well, Jeff, this is Gilmer's 17th consecutive year to reach the second round of the playoffs. And the Buckeyes have won 16 of these in a row. Looks like it'll be number 17, and that's an amazing accomplishment to always be playing 17 years straight on Thanksgiving week.
Yeah, just an absolute incredible, rich history here. Buckeyes one of the top winning percentages in the state of Texas in 4A football since the year 2000. Yeah, all football.
1,500 schools playing football in the state of Texas.
Do you know where we rank in that now? I used to know those stats.
Yeah.
You may have them in there. I know we rank real high in 4A when it comes to most wins. We held that record for a long time. I think we're still probably in the top 5.
Our wins are the 12th most in Texas high school football. So 1,500 schools play football, and Gilmer's number 12 as far as wins is concerned.
And they're going to sack him and almost strip the ball loose.
And so many Buckeyes after him that, there's about 5 Buckeyes, and one actually ended up getting hurt a little bit. He's on the ground there.
It looks like Jeremiah.
Because of how aggressive they were trying to get the sack.
He probably got hurt by his own player.
Right.
That's Jeremiah Noble down on the field right now. But he a little slow getting up over there. I thought they were going to be reaching there and strip that ball. He was in position to do so, but didn't quite get it done. You know, you said again, 15th, is that right? In
12th.
all of football? 12th. Do you know where it is in 4A, where that ranks in 4A?
Well, that's hard to determine because of all the shifting schools and everything. So if you wanted to go off of like the schools right now, I don't. I could look it up real quick. But, you know, that changes because, you know, sometimes you're in 4A, sometimes you're in 3A. You know, Gilmer used to be in 2A. I mean, you know, just so it's one of those things where it's hard to determine. If you want to go by the schools that are in 4A right now.
That goes all the way back to the year 2000, is that correct?
What's that? For wins?
That stat that you just gave for 15th overall for wins. Or is that
no, that's
all time?
all time. All time wins in the state of Texas.
Wow, that's incredible.
12th most. So, like I said, not everybody's been playing football as long, but still the fact that there's 1,500 high schools in the state of Texas that play football, and Gilmer has the 12th most wins. And that hasn't been just since 2000, obviously. Gilmer had some powerhouses in the 20s and 30s and 40s. And they've always had good program. The only decade that they didn't have a winning decade was in the 70s.
Handoff up the middle, and he is just absolutely clobbered there by number 1 for the Buckeyes, Tyson Wilson. And he got back basically to the line of scrimmage. Looks like it's going to be 3rd and 10. Buckeye defense, you know, we've talked about this the entire year, and I just can't overstate it. You know, you have to go all the way back to 2004 to find a defense as good as this one here. And to be honest with you, I think this may be the best defense we've ever had. So I can't wait to watch the matchup against Carthage.
It definitely ranks right up there. You know, people would be shocked, I think, to see Gilmer as run the ball as well as they do and have such a shutdown defense, you know, because they always think of Gilmer as
big
being a
pass
passing.
Across the middle, and that is going to fall incomplete. I thought he was going to be able to reel that in.
He had it in his hands.
He had it in his hands, but when he hit the turf, he dropped it. Good effort there by the receiver for Gainesville, but that's going to fall incomplete.
Well, the Buckeyes defense coming into this game only were allowing 204 yards of total offense per game on the season. That was 128 yards rushing and 76 yards passing. They've only given up 300 total yards in one game, and that was at Chapel Hill in game 1 of the season. They've only allowed one opponent over 175 rushing yards, and that was Chapel Hill in game 1 as well. So the defense has just been outstanding all year.
All right, let's watch Tarek Tate. He's got a lane to run in. Look at this. Down the sideline he goes. And got cut, and a big flag on the play. That's going to probably be a block in the back or something down here against the Buckeyes. So
they both call it?
Yeah. And so that's going to be a big penalty against Gilmer. And that is, you always hate to see it when it's behind the play because it's so unnecessary. When your guy's running down the field, that was a huge punt return by Tate.
Well, maybe our guy just thought that the referees wouldn't see it and call it against Gilmer.
Well, that's possible. It's possible. So that is going to bring that ball way back, but still in good field position. 1st and 10 from the 33-yard line of the Buckeyes.
Well, so it basically ends up being about a 30-yard penalty. So won't count that in the books, but effectively on the field. But all that means is the Buckeyes offense and get credit for hopefully a 67-yard drive.
Padding the stats. 2 receivers wide to the right, 1 to the left. 1 back in the backfield. Looks like it's Henderson. Again, Rowan Fluellen in at quarterback. Handoff Henderson up the middle, and look at him driving those legs. I mean, that young man is just powerful when he runs. Both of them, Haynes and Henderson, and he gets a good 9 yards out of that carry.
Well, both backs are just so amazingly talented that, you know, they both have breakaway speed, especially, obviously, Henderson. But even Henderson likes to run in between the tackles, and is very effective. He's a strong, big kid, thick legs, drives his legs. He's a running back that has speed.
He really is. From the shotgun, here's the snap. Handoff again to Henderson. Flag on the play. Henderson breaks one to the left side, and he is
running.
Off to the races and runs out of bounds out inside the 20-yard line, but probably going to come back due to a flag on the play. More than likely going to be a holding call against the Buckeyes. That'll be about the 5th one or so tonight, if I'm somewhere in that range.
Surely not. Is that?
Yeah, it was holding.
That's the first penalty on the Buckeyes. Tonight,
So that is a spot foul. And that's going to back them up and make it a little. It'll be repeat second down. It'll be 2nd and 12. Second and 12. Ball is going to be spotted on the 31-yard line. Buckeyes send 2 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. And now Kevion Brinkley checks in at running back. And Rowan calling audibles to his receiver. Here's the play. Handoff up the middle. Kevion, we've got, I missed it, evidently big hit there in the middle.
One of their big guys got kind of rolled over backwards on that hit there. He was kind of in an unbalanced position, so if you saw the replay, well, you missed it, but it was a little comical.
So Kevion Brinkley in at running back. You can see the Buckeyes have slowed the pace of the game way down now. Right. They want to just we're going to see long.
Try to milk the clock.
Yeah, milk the clock. Get out of here. They're going to keep the ball on the ground for the most part.
Well, luckily, Rowan Fluellen can jump high too because he's had to handle a lot of high snaps tonight. Not sure exactly where that's coming from. Just the fact that it's a different quarterback or what, I'm not sure. But he's honestly had 10 or 12 very high snaps where he had to leave his feet to get off the ground.
He's had several for sure tonight, but he has handled all of them quite well. And so the Buckeyes looking at 4th and 5 now, so they're going to punt. Now, what you're seeing is we're slowing the pace of the game now. The score is 50-14. We have 2 whole quarters to play. And so the Buckeyes are going to, start going, they're going to use all the time on the play clock. They're fixing to get a penalty here if they don't. Yeah, they got that off in 1 second. And
hold on to it. Oh, not a good punt either.
Yeah, punted straight out of bounds around the 42-yard line. But
it's going to be hard.
And don't think for a second Buckeyes are going to get away with anything from a penalty perspective in the second half. And the reason why is because the refs are going to try to help keep this score down, which is I know going to just wreck your blood pressure. So.
Well, and it's not just that. There have been a couple of, I believe, phantom calls. I will admit that most of them, what Buckeyes did, I just get a little frustrated because it always seems to be so lopsided. You can't tell me the other team's not doing the same penalties. But like you said, it's because, they're going to call everything on Gilmer. So if that's the case, these Buckeyes need to be more disciplined and realize that. And
they are. They're going to call. They're going to try to keep this from being a 75 point game.
But as the Buckeyes, then that means you've got to realize it. Don't hold.
Handoff up the middle.
Don't hold, don't hit late, don't hit behind the back. Just you're going to get called for everything. You'll never get away with anything, so don't do it.
Nice run there by Gainesville. 6-yard pickup, 2nd and 4. Ball's at the 48-yard line of Gainesville. And again, you're going to just start kind of seeing you're going to see this second half go a lot faster than the first. I don't see the Buckeyes putting the ball in the air too much in the second half at all.
Well, yeah, they didn't in the first half, really. So,
handoff, fakes the handoff, and I'm not sure why he's doing that.
Is that on purpose?
I don't know if he slipped or saw a shot coming and just said, there's no reason to go out there and get hurt for a game that we're going to lose tonight. He may be instructed. If he slides one more time, we're going to know he's been instructed by, his dad, the head coach, to not go get injured for the basketball or whatever he's going to do next.
Well, just put another back in there, but anyway, that's fine. I've never really seen that before, so
I don't know if he may have slid down right there.
He may have.
I think he saw a hit coming and he slid. So we'll find out here momentarily. Now you're going to see them put the ball in the air because they're still going to try to fight their way back and make this game respectable. This is going to be a pass here. He steps up in the pocket, sees some open run, and there he slides again. So he's been instructed.
I guess
to not get hurt.
He wasn't. Well, he were close to first down again. He slid about 2-3 yards short.
Yeah, and in the first couple of quarters, he was ducking his head and running like a running back. So he's been instructed not to go get hurt and for a game that they know they're going to lose. So I think you're going to see both teams kind of try to just get out of here without running the score up much. So they're going to keep that clock running. And we're already
We'll be
down.
interested
We're
to see
already
if-
down to 5:51.
If they actually run it when it's not supposed to be run, we'll see. That's really at the control of the officials. So sometimes officials will do it, sometimes they won't. Depends on how far you get into the playoffs.
Usually,
also.
if both teams agree,
Right.
have to agree to it. Quarterback's got the ball. This time he doesn't slide. He stays on his feet and gets the first down.
And see, that's what's hard because as a defense, all of a sudden you see him sliding, and so you let up, and then he takes off.
Yeah.
So eventually you're going to see the Buckeyes,
late hit him
because he's
Yeah.
going to be in a quasi slide, and of course we're not going to get any benefit of the doubt, so it's going to be a penalty.
Trip receivers wide to the right, one to the left, one back in the backfield. Handoff, number 3, left side, big running room. And he gets all the way down to the 25-yard line before he's finally brought down.
Well, Buckeyes obviously freely substituting on the defensive side. You see a couple of guys coming in now back out there hoping that we can stop Leopards from, maybe getting another touchdown. I mean, we're well ahead, but I'm sure the Buckeyes defense and the coaches especially don't want another score.
All right, same set. This time they take the back behind the quarterback, and he busts up the middle for a nice run, about an 8-yard gain. And they are knocking on the door inside the red zone now. It'll be interesting to see if the Buckeyes bring the whole first team back in. They've got most of their starters back in the game inside the red zone here.
I mean, the Buckeyes defense only average giving up 14.4 points a game. So they're right at their average, so I'm sure they'd like to keep it that way. But they've got a tough task ahead of them to do that.
Yeah, 2nd and 3. Motion. Looking to pass. Goes for the end zone. Touchdown. Gainesville.
And by the way, there was no holding by Gainesville on that play either. I just want
That's
you
good
to
to
know.
know. I just want. I'm
watching,
happy to know that they're playing a clean game.
I was watching closely.
Nice pass, nice catch there. That was number 18. That was the big guy that we were talking about earlier for Gainesville. I think he has. That's Luna. I think he has all 3 of their touchdowns. Is that right? I think he caught the other 2.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think he came into the game with like 4 touchdowns, so I'll have to look again and see.
So he's having a pretty good night. And the extra point is, I would call it blocked, but I don't think that. I think it was just kicked into a player. I don't think you can call it a block if they kicks it into you. But nonetheless, that is going to be a 6-point game with no extra points. So Buckeyes lead 50-20 with 3:53 left to play. We'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors.
When tragedy strikes, you don't want to be in a position where you're second-guessing your lawyer's ability or the resolve to get you fairly compensated. When you hire Godarzi & Young, you know you're hiring a law firm that has nationally ranked settlements and verdicts. We have over 2 decades of experience holding 18-wheeler companies accountable for their negligent action. Don't make the mistake of hiring anybody else. Hire the best. Hire Godarzi & Young.
All right, we are back here in Mesquite, Texas. Gilmer Buckeyes 50, Leopards 20. 3:53 left to play in this third quarter, and you're going to see the Buckeyes getting the ball and probably keeping it on the ground as much as possible to run as much time off the clock. They want to get out of here without any injuries. Get out of here, get back to Gilmer as early as they can tonight, get these boys rested up for next week because the Gilmer Buckeyes will be taking on, it's basically the state championship next week. It's number 1 versus number 2. Gilmer Buckeyes versus the Carthage Bulldogs. That is going to be an electric game.
Okay, so you're telling your quarterback to slide several times, and you go down and score. So do you onside kick it here or not?
Absolutely.
Why? I mean, you've already conceded because you're having a quarterback slide. Why do you onside kick?
It's in the playbook.
Okay, I'm just curious.
Now they may do a little
pooch
kick or something. They've been onside kicking quite a bit tonight. They do a little pooch kick right over the middle. And look at there, ball's on the ground, and looks like we may have come down with it, but boy, that was close.
Yeah, we didn't play that ball very well.
He put it right in the gap, right where there wasn't anyone. Carthage currently leads 54-0. And so if we continue to hold off and get out of this game with a win tonight, we will be taking on Carthage Bulldogs next week. Friday.
17 straight years of playing on Thanksgiving week.
It's fantastic. Look at this run. Up the middle he goes. Number 22, and he is going to score all the way. Look at this. Number 6.
Still scored.
I'm impressed.
That is very impressive. His angle was not that steep, and he's ran stride for stride. If that's a 10-400 meter, you're probably looking at a 10-9 chasing him. Pretty fast. Number 6, Cersei.
Was that Cersei
That was
pushed
Cersei
him?
chasing him, yeah.
It was impressive.
He's got over 100 yards on 3 runs.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice run there by Will Henderson. Now the Buckeyes line up for the extra point attempt.
Well, even if we make this, the Buckeyes still need 3 points to cover the spread. They were picked by 40 points by Jerry Forrest of pigskinprep.com.
Here's the extra point. It is good. So Buckeyes now lead 57-20 with 3:35, and the third quarter. We'll be right back.
Do you enjoy watching your favorite TV programs on your smartphone or tablet? Or maybe you'd rather watch them on your Roku or Amazon Fire TV. Tired of having to change your TV input from your old traditional cable to watch your favorite streaming apps? If so, we have great news for you. eTex is making the move to streaming and has launched a new app. eTex TV allows you to watch over 130 channels in full HD on your streaming or mobile devices. This means you can simply download the eTex TV app, subscribe, and start watching. With all your favorite functions like DVR and Pause Live TV, and new features like Restart TV. To learn more, visit www.etex.net or contact a customer service rep at 903-797-HELP. That's 903-797-4357.
All right, we are back here in Mesquite, Texas. The Gilmer Buckeyes lead 57-20 with 3:35 left to play in the third. Sounds like a fourth quarter score, but it's not. It's third quarter score. And the Buckeyes are set to kick off. And the kick is in the air. And called for a fair catch on the 35.
Oh, I thought I
saw a flag.
There was a football.
They were throwing footballs. I thought it was a flag, too. I was like, man.
I was just going to shut up the rest of the game if it was. I was going to be like, I'm done.
I unplugged your mic about 20 minutes ago, Joe. You haven't been on air in 20 minutes.
But I sure did. I saw something yellowish flying. I was like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah, I saw the same thing. 3:35 left to play in the third.
On a fair catch, nonetheless. I was like, oh, come on.
Next week's game against Carthage, I've been waiting on it all year long. I can't wait. Very exciting football game. If you like football, next week is what it's all about. As the Buckeyes shut down the run.
Reminds me of 2014, where the Buckeyes met Gladewater in round 4. It was at the time the regional finals. The way they set up the realignment districts, this year. Just so happened that, we were destined to meet Carthage in the third round if both teams, advanced that far in the playoffs. And I believe the same thing. It's going to be the state championship game next week.
It is. Well, it is. It is definitely. That game should be played in Jerry's World because that is the state championship, unfortunately. And what a big hit there. Again, Wilson. Second time tonight, he has been laying the wood on him.
Tyson's not the biggest kid out there.
No, but he'll hit you like he thinks he is. Nobody told him he wasn't. And he does believe he does come and bring the thunder every play. 2:23 with the clock ticking left in the third quarter. Hopefully they're going to run the clock pretty fast the fourth quarter.
And this is still big and good for a lot of Gilmer's reserves, and the younger kids have been moved up and everything to get some playing time. This is one of the things that makes Gilmer's program so good is that these kids practice and play so long, every year that year after year after year after year, it makes it such a, it's such a benefit to the program. And so, we're sitting here kind of thinking, about next week and going home and how we're going to drive home, which way are you going to go? Are we going to stop at Buc-ee's and all this? But, for these kids still out here playing for the Buckeyes, it's big for them. They need this. They need the experience, and they need these reps and everything. So this is a big part of the Buckeyes' success.
Yeah, when you play this many games into the playoffs every year, they get just so much more experience. Here's the snap, handoff, left side, and he is just tripped up over his own feet, falls to the ground.
Well, that was another example of what you were talking about earlier with that option read. He held it so long that by the time he let him take it, he was basically tripping.
He was off balance.
And he had to, exactly. And that's part of it. And
yeah, I used to hate doing an option. When we played, running an option just was tough.
Well, the old option, usually was just right in the gut real quick, and usually, it was a lot faster, and then you'd either pitch or not. This is where they ride them for so long before they decide what they're going to do.
They ran the same play. Buckeyes were waiting on it, and he is just slung to the ground there by number 3, Amaro Arona.
Finally said Omero's name tonight. We talked earlier about how we hadn't called his name out. He's one of the Buckeyes' leading tacklers.
He is. I think he's in 2nd or 3rd place leading tacklers for the year. And we haven't called his name a lot tonight. That defensive line has been hogging up all the glory tonight.
I mean, if they're watching film and tape, they probably had a plan for number 3, and they've tried very hard to keep him from
I'm sure they
playing
have.
a factor in the game.
I'm sure they have. For no bigger than Amaro Arona is, he is just an absolute
pound for pound. He's a beast.
He is absolute man among boys out there. Quarterback
Good
under heavy
pressure.
pursuit.
Wow.
And he's forced to throw it away as Braylon Ward is breathing down the back of his neck.
Yeah, great pressure by the Buckeyes right there. What's interesting is that when he had to turn around, usually he's used to, hey, I beat that guy, now I'm going to turn around and run this way. Then another Buckeye came right there, and he's like, oh, I just got to throw it away now. And if you've watched some of their games this year, he's not used to that. I mean, he's used to being able to turn around and run, for a while. So give a lot of props to the Buckeyes defense for
this team has never faced a defense like what they're seeing right now, for sure. And Carthage hadn't faced a defense like this either, as they decided to do a punt.
Well, it was 4th and 9, but they didn't back up normally.
And look at this.
Wow.
To Eric decides to pick it
up.
He
got a wall.
He's got a little bit of a wall.
That's all right.
Yeah, he got it past the 20.
Could have been at the 2.
But he literally took it. There's a flag.
I was about to say.
Now, Joe.
I was about to say that. Come on, get the Buckeyes away from them. Come on, Bucks.
We got a little extracurricular activity going on out on the field.
Coach Metzel's not happy with that. Well, and then another Gainesville player came running over. 2 of them came running over, so it's a little bit on both sides, but.
Yeah, a little bit of that. Emotions running high, and these guys ending their season.
I'm just trying to get my spot.
Yeah, to Eric picked that ball up. I thought he was going to let it bounce in the end zone.
Well, I think it's one of those things where he wasn't sure exactly where it was, and it's like, well,
he was standing on the plane in the end zone.
I know, but I'm saying he may not have realized what happens here. Is this a safety? Is this a we get to bring it out to the 20. I mean, so if you don't know, when in doubt, if you're an athlete like he is, just go ahead and run it. And he got it out past the 20. Yeah. He did a good job. Of course, now the officials are talking.
So the flag, the initial flag.
I'm not sure why. I mean,
was
they
going to be on Gainesville.
Maybe they're deciding to call it on both.
But then
now.
it may be offsetting penalties.
But I didn't see another flag. They throw
I think Gilmer retaliated. So
Gilmer never threw any punches or anything. They all formed over, ran down there and everything. And I didn't see a second flag.
Yeah. All right, they're going to call it against Gainesville.
Wonder why they met so long for that.
I don't know. I think they were discussing having offsetting penalties.
Well, but you have to throw a flag to have offsetting penalties.
They were discussing if they were going to throw another one on number 3 because he got into.
It ran over.
He headbutted the Gilmer.
Oh, okay. All right.
So either way, Gilmer picked up a good break there. Picked up 15 yards.
Well, like I said, because it could have been at the 1 when they started. And now they're out at the almost 37.
We're sitting here at the 37-yard line, so they're taking over in pretty decent field position. And
But they're
You know,
still
this,
explaining
both of
something
these
here.
games, these teams have played actually pretty clean all night tonight.
I'm
And,
not
and,
sure
and
what they're talking
well, we've
about.
got
but-
Alan Metzel is out there with Charles, and I think they're asking maybe about why Charles is carrying a stick. And like, is this
You
guy
think
got
so,
a whip?
really?
I do. I think so, because Charles comes out, and Alan is motioning, well, this is how we keep our boys back, you know, so we don't get a sideline warning. I think they think that Charles picked up a stick. I do. I'm not sure. I'll ask Sunday at the coaches show. But
Okay, so explain it though. He keeps
because
the
Charles
players
doesn't
back
normally go
off the-
out.
right.
Charles doesn't normally go
Go
out
out and
for
consult with the
visit,
officials, right?
Yeah.
And I saw that too.
We got a flag on the play. We had the ball snap. We got another little fight going.
My
and you got
goodness.
Buckeyes coming in off the sideline, and the coaches are like, "Hey, don't you dare go out there."
Well-
they were strapping up.
Well, I mean, well,
And you hate to see this start happening toward the end of the game, because both these teams really played pretty well tonight together.
and of course there's an initial flag on the play anyway. It looks like it would be about against the Buckeyes offense because they threw the flag. So it was they blew the play dead, and then there was a little extracurricular pushing and shoving at the end. So, we know one penalty is against the Buckeyes just for the false start, but we'll see what they call on the other. And then, of course, there was an extra flag thrown on that one. But getting back to Charles, he carries a stick to walk down the sidelines and make the players stay off that white line that the referees run up and down on. And it's a job because the players don't pay attention. So he has to go down and keep saying, everybody move back, move back. Right.
It's like a walking stick.
Move back, move back. Right.
Illegal procedure against the Buckeyes. It's going to back them up 5 yards. And then you got a dead ball personal foul against. That's 2. We got 30 yards back.
Well, I didn't want to say anything. I mean, but I could see what the Gainesville player did, and I didn't want to just kind of pile on in case they said that Gilmer did something else too. But I was fairly certain it was going to be on Gainesville because for some reason, I guess they decided since they're losing so bad, they didn't want to.
They're a little sore. So that is 30 yards of penalties right here, back to back. Gainesville's giving up yards they can't really afford to give up. And so here's Buckeyes. Kevion Brinkley is the ball carrier. Hand off to Kevion up the middle. Kevion running hard.
And that's your third string back, by the way.
Yeah, and could start in any other school around here.
So you picked up 7 on that first down?
Yeah, it looks like 2nd and 3. Again, Buckeyes had just an incredible season so far this year, undefeated season.
Well,
we looked at it in the beginning of the season. We were looking at those first 4 games going, ooh,
well,
this could be an ugly start.
Yeah, I mean, first 5 games were non-district, and then the first district game was against Pleasant Grove and Texarkana. So I'm looking at those first 6 games going,
this
wow, if we go 3-3, I'm going to be okay with that.
Yeah. But they have fought hard all year long, and again, like you said, this defense only giving up 14.4 points per game. It's got to be the record.
It'd be close. I mean, back a long time ago. I mean, when there wasn't as much scoring, you might find some of those. We don't keep the defensive stats as well as we do the offensive stats for a variety of reasons. But that is something. Since I do have all the scores, I could go back and start looking at that though. That's a good point. Do want to point out here that was the end of the third quarter.
Yeah.
And so they flipped the field, and the Buckeyes also, on this last drive, with all the commotion and fighting and everything going on, failed to mention that they have a new quarterback now for Gilmer, number 18, Jaden Edmond, a junior.
Yeah, he's been our backup quarterback for most of the year.
So obviously they don't want to get 17, Rolf Llewellyn, hurt anymore. He's already playing with a little bit of an injury. So
Kevion Brinkley finding a big hole, throwing a stiff arm, gets all the way to the 30-yard line, and again,
good blocking, but look at that run.
Yeah,
that's a third-string running back.
He's a great runner. He is a very good running back, very capable of picking up yards.
I mean, can you imagine being Gainesville over there saying, come on, man, put your third-string guy in. Yeah. And they do, and it's like, it's him. So it's like, wait a minute, really? Seriously? That's your third string?
So we are finally into the fourth quarter. 11:30 left to play in the game. 57-20 the score. Buckeyes in command of this game. Again, handoff up the middle, finding a hole,
Good
fighting
vision.
forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking for the seam. And again, they know every play is going to be a run play here. So I always say I feel sorry for Kevion and Braden when they get in the game because everybody knows where the ball's going.
But you know they
5-yard
love
gain.
it. They don't care. They love it. They
don't
want to get
care.
the ball.
Yeah, they don't care. 5-yard gain, 2nd and 5. Two receivers left, one right. Brinkley still the back. Handoff up the middle. Good blocking there by the offensive line. And what a good job he does of getting upfield, getting the first down.
Took a hard hit, but you know, after you've had a big gain and get a first down, usually those won't hurt as bad.
Braden Pate checks into the game. I think Braden, Coach Pate's son, he is a sophomore. They pulled up several guys, you know, from the JV and even the freshman class this week that'll be with them the rest of the playoffs. Good experience for these young men.
Well, and there's a lot of kids too that aren't suited out tonight that are still practicing every practice with the Buckeyes. And once again, that kind of goes back to what we're talking about, how important these playoffs and making deep runs every year are to the program, because these, you know, these kids get so much more practice time, so much more reps and everything. It does truly make a giant difference. So these 17 years of making it at least to the third round, I mean, as nice as it is for the record books and everything, that's really what generates the kind of program that you have.
All right, here's the snap. Handoff once again up the middle. Brinkley lowering his head, fighting for yards. Gets about 3, maybe 4 yards on the carry. They're going to probably give him 3 on that one. It's going to bring up 3rd and 7. 9:03 on the play clock. And Buckeyes, again, just wanting to get out of here without injuries. Got a lot of subs in. And the play clock continues to run down to 10 seconds. They're going to wait till the very end to snap these.
Van Alstyne scored on Carthage.
Brinkley cuts up the middle, inside the 10, out to the 8-yard line. He's going to be right at the first down marker.
54-7 Carthage with 10 minutes left in the third quarter. Van Alstyne scored. There's an injured player on the field. Is that for a Buckeye or is that a?
No, that's.
I see the white pants now. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And while they're helping that young man up, we're going to pause and go to a commercial. We'll be right back. Texas Heritage National Bank would like to invite the Buckeye Nation to visit our new full-service bank in Gilmer. We are conveniently located on Highway 271 and Redbud Street with a brand new facility ready to serve our friends and neighbors. We offer competitive rates on all of our deposit products, as well as some great options for business financing to help your business grow from 5 employees to 500 employees. Texas Heritage National Bank would also like to take this time to thank all of the teachers, administration, and school board for investing in the future of our kiddos. We would also like to wish all of the student athletes a wonderful and safe year. Come see us soon. All right, we're back to Mesquite. 8:16 left to play. Buckeyes lead 57-20. And just looking at a 4th and 1 inside the 10.
You think we'll punt?
I don't think so. We might surprise them. So they're going to hand off to Kevion, see if he can pick up the first down. Kevion, of course, wants to get a score.
Well, and honestly, this is where you don't run up the score. We could easily kick a field goal right here, make it 60, but we're saying, hey, you know what? We'll just try to run in. Y'all try to stop us.
Kevion right up the middle and into the end zone.
No, yeah. I do. They didn't call it a touchdown, and I do think he was a little bit short.
Yeah, he probably was.
But I just want people at home, if you're watching, and especially if you're not a Gilmer fan, because Gilmer gets accused of running up the score and things like that. You go ask those coaches. That's not running up the score right there. Run up the score would be to kick an easy field goal right there and make it 60 points. They said, look, it's 4th and 1.
You know who we're going to hand it to.
Right, we're going to hand the ball
Yeah.
off. If you can stop us, you get the ball. Great, you know. Now, even when the Buckeyes go slow, they still tend to snap the ball with 10 seconds or more on the clock. You know, it's just against their DNA, really.
Well, obviously, this part of the game is where it gets really slow. And, yeah, they shot through there untouched, knowing exactly where that football was going.
Yeah, lost 2 yards on that play.
It gets kind of tough at this part of the game, you know, where the game slows down because we're just trying to get out of here without injuries, and the Buckeyes are going to let all of that play clock run every time.
Well, and if they do have, of course, you know, I'm sure Gilmer would like to score. Those players are out there, definitely want to score. But if by some chance they keep the Buckeyes from scoring, they get the ball inside the 5, and so that's not a bad deal for the Buckeyes either. But just second downs, they've got three more tries at it. They're bringing everybody.
Yeah,
they're
bringing everybody. They're not going to let them in there.
On something like that, okay, that's where it gets a little bit iffy on the coaching thing, because they're full on bringing everybody because they're like, we're not going to throw it because that would be unsportsmanlike. Well, so is bringing everybody in a situation when you know they're not going to throw it.
I think that's the whole point. I think the coach is saying, guys, we're going to let you know what we're doing here.
Right, but you don't bring everybody.
You have an opportunity. You have an opportunity to stop us. They don't want to run up the score.
Well, but you can't let your guys get killed by all 11 coming at one guy.
All right, Kevion around the left side. He's going to get in this time for the Buckeyes.
Yep, I knew it. I knew a flag was coming. I knew it. There it was. Just waited. There it goes.
He waited until he scored.
Yeah, he made sure.
Way to go, referees.
And, you know, Allen may be down there telling him, hey, don't let us score anymore.
Way to go.
Help us out.
Yeah, I'm sure. That's only the 3rd touchdown call back of the night.
Holding offense.
Good thing for these referees so the Buckeyes won't blow them out too bad.
So that backs the Buck.
I was looking around.
So that just gives Kevion an opportunity to run another touchdown. 5:30 left to play in the 4th quarter. Buckeyes 57, Leopards 20. Game slowing way down now, just trying to get the clock. Here's the snap, handoff, right side, Kevion cuts upfield, gets out to the 15. Yeah, they're going to do a field goal attempt here with 5 minutes left in the game.
I'd fake it.
Fake it. The holder's Braden Pate, sophomore, came up for the playoffs from the JV. There's the kick, and it is right through the uprights to give the Buckeyes an even 60.
So we're right at the 40-point spread.
Yep, we're exactly the 40-point spread. 4:31 left to play, 60 to 20. Buckeyes leading. We'll be right back to conclude this game.
It's gonna be alright. How can you tell? I feel it in my heart. It's gonna be okay.
Juicy's Burgers, serving you for over 40 years.
At first,
All right, we're back with 4:31 left to play. Buckeyes set to kick off.
You know, what I was referring to is that, you know, I've talked to coaches, and I remember one time in particular, I can't remember who we were playing, but, you know, when Jeff Trader was still coaching at Gilmer, he was talking about, you know, in a situation where you're basically letting the other coach know that we're just going to hand the ball off the rest of the game. And so the other coach kind of agrees more or less to, you know, not, you know, pack the box, keep your defense the same. Time. Coaches, they just kind of know that, hey, you know, we're going to run the ball, we're going to hand it off the middle, nothing fancy. You know, so you can stay in your regular base defense. You don't do any fancy, no stunts, no anything. And that way, you know, you don't get our kids killed. Well, the other coaches don't do that. I've known coaches to, okay,
So
fine,
go ahead and
we'll go ahead and
dump
start
it,
throwing the
yeah.
ball then or whatever. So that's the only thing that bothered me at the end there was that they brought everybody, you know, because they didn't want us to score, which I understand the desire. You don't want the other team to score, but I mean, you're not playing at the agreed upon, you know, principles that the coaches say, hey, we're going to just hand the ball up the middle. You stay in your base defense. That's the only thing.
Here's the snap. Handoff, number 3, right side. And jerked him down. Looked like almost looked like a horse collar, but evidently
I will
had him
give
by the
the
jersey.
officials props for not calling a penalty on that because it looked like a face mask, but it was definitely the jersey.
7. Quarterback Cersei, who's played a heck of a game tonight. Very impressive young man.
Just a junior, so he'll be back next year. So
Yeah.
depending on how things go, we might see him again next year.
You may very well see him again next year. Here's the snap. Handoff up the middle.
Wow. He did a good job making a couple yards out of that because he got popped right at the line when he got there.
You know, Gainesville's been pretty impressive. They played pretty hard tonight.
Yeah, you know, obviously I think the Buckeyes would have won this game without the turnovers, but those turnovers really made a huge difference in this game. I mean, it made it the blowout. Basically.
Yeah, well, they came out the first, looked really good. The first possession, drove down the field in just 3 or 4 plays and scored.
But, I mean, turnovers are part of the game, so it's not like you can say, well, you know, if it hadn't been for turnovers, well, yeah, turnovers are part of football. That's why Gilmer is at a plus 16 or 17 now in the turnovers for the season. And when you are that, you're usually pretty good.
Quarterback keeper right side options it out.
Oh, yeah, that's a Gilmer ball.
And the ref's probably not going to let us have it. They did the same thing in the same spot earlier in the first half where they had a fumble there on the sideline and Buckeyes grabbed it. And I don't think there's any way in the world the refs are going to let us have the ball right here.
What are you saying? What are you saying, Jeff?
Well, I'm saying that this with the score being 60-20.
Oh, okay.
I don't think they're going to. What are they saying here? Yeah, recovered out of bounds.
Uh-huh.
So it's 4th down. So we're down to 3 minutes left in the game. And with the field position that we have here, I would imagine
they've had difficulty on that on the sideline there. I mean, my vision is just about gone. What does the sign say over there? What down is it? It's 4th. Okay, they finally moved it down here. Okay, so on the scoreboard it said 3rd up until like 5 seconds
it's
ago.
like
so I was
4th and 6, and they're going to go for it because why wouldn't you?
Because all night it's been off a little bit. It's usually been the sideline that's been off, but.
So they're going to probably put the ball in the air right here.
Now they're going to back up.
Yeah, he's going to back up and punt. Yeah, he backed up a little bit, so he's going to do that little quick kick, and there's a delay of game.
Yeah. I don't think that was intentional, but who knows?
Yeah, that's one of those where, okay, it's delay of game.
Let
Let him go ahead and get it off, yeah. With a 40-point spread, just let them punt it.
And once again, they line up as if they're going to run a play.
Yeah.
Now they're going to call a timeout.
Timeout.
3 minutes left in the game.
Timeout before a punt. That's a good strategy. I like it. All right, we're going to go to a commercial. We'll be right back.
National Bank. Together, we're better. We're a regional bank, big enough for all of Texas that cares and is invested in the people and communities we serve. With the strength and services to meet the needs of every customer, big or small, from business financing for big companies and small mom and pops to our family of personal banking customers. First National Bank of East Texas. Together, we're better. And we think that's kind of a big deal.
All right, we are back.
I've been asked to give a few shout outs, and a few shout outs I wouldn't mind giving anyway, but we have followers all over, and of course there's a couple of Dodds around. There's a couple of them in Utah, and my nephew Logan Dodd, that's Mark's son.
Did you say that there was just a couple of Dodds around?
Yeah. And I know Steve DeGala is watching today. He called me before we got here to the stadium, and my son Parker Dodd is watching, and Daniel Dodd, who's one of the Gilmer coaches, my brother, his wife and kids are in Utah visiting her family for Thanksgiving, and I think they were going to watch, although they may have turned it off by now.
Here is a punt, 250, and the Buckeyes will take over for what is probably going to be the last offensive possession of the game.
Well, and if they hadn't called a timeout right then, I would have said, maybe we'll just go ahead and see this clock run out if we take a knee 4 times in victory formation. But I'm not so sure that Gainesville wouldn't call a timeout or two, so I'm not sure what will happen here. We might need to still run it a few times before we can go into victory formation.
Harmony's up 37-23 with 2 minutes left in the game.
It looks like we're already in victory formation, so we're going to try to see what happens with four down balls. We have the safety far in the back there just in case the snap goes wide or anything, and that's what we do. Take a knee, we'll let as much time run out as possible. The 42nd? Okay, well, they weren't running the 42nd clock, so.
Oh, well, they're giving us a little extra time.
Yeah, now they started running it again now, but so should be able to run everything out with 3 more snaps and kneel downs in the victory formation.
Well, let's start talking about next week. It's Carthage, Gilmer, number 1 versus number 2. And that is, would have been a great state championship this year. It's really unfortunate that we have to face them in the 3rd round because a really good football team, one of them is going to get knocked out of the playoffs.
And one thing I'd like to say and ask for is that, I love the fact that people are watching this game. I really do. But next week in a game like this, we need people in the stands. So we need people to brave the cold and brave the getting over the Thanksgiving dinner and come out and actually support the Buckeyes in the stadium. We really need that next
Bring
week.
your noisemakers, bring your loudest voice, and really help these guys create an intimidating environment as we play Carthage Bulldogs. That is going to be one heck of a good football game. It's all everything we've done this season's all been building up to that.
Well, and the last time we played Carthage, of course, was for the state championship in 2020, and we were really hoping to get a shot at them last year, and they lost in the playoffs to China Springs, and then of course China Springs ended up meeting the Buckeyes in the state championship game, and we all know how that went, unfortunately. But the Buckeyes didn't get a chance last year, to play Carthage, and so it's been 2 years now since the Buckeyes had a chance to play them and try to redeem themselves from that ugly blowout in the state championship game in 2020.
Well, I like our odds. I think we got a great football team. We obviously have the best fans, and that is going to be the end of the ball game, folks. Gilmer is going to win it.
22 seconds.
Well, they took a timeout, but we're going to throw it to commercials, and that is probably going to be the end of the game. All we're going to do is take another knee. So, yeah, that's a turnover downs, and they took a timeout.
It's going to be a turnover and down.
So we've got another shout out to give out. A friend of mine, Logan Green, I gave a shout out to my nephew Logan. I guess he didn't think that was good enough since his name wasn't Dodd, it was Green. So another Logan I give a shout out to. Logan Green, former Buckeye. And tell him same thing. He needs to be at the game next week.
Yeah, we hope everybody will come out next week. Great performance here by the Buckeyes tonight. The band, the drill team, the cheerleaders, the majorettes, all these young people here in Gilmer do just such a great job. They work so hard. Their coaches do a great job. And they work hard all week long. And
9 seconds left. What do you think they'll do? Drop back Hail Mary or just take a knee and let's be done?
Yeah, when you get in a situation like this, I don't know why the refs just don't say, all right, we're done. You know, they know that we're going to take a knee. You're just keeping people out in the cold. It's like, let's end this deal and get out of here without any injuries. Todd Connens is asking me, how many yards do we have tonight? I don't have a clue. We're not keeping stats. A bunch. And they take a knee, and that is the end of the game, folks. Next week, it's for all the marbles. What should be the state championship game is going to be played next Friday night. Be watching the GilmerBuckeyes.com for the details. And I've been waiting all season for this game. So come out and support the Buckeyes as they play the Carthage Bulldogs next Friday night somewhere in East Texas. And thanks for listening tonight. We will see you next week. Good night.